Race number 11 out of 30 races of the 3-wide Racing League RaceKings Cup Series brings us Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Coca-Cola 200. Located in the heart of NASCAR country, this 1.5-mile speedway stands as the home track of many NASCAR teams and many iRacing drivers as well on the iRacing sim, but the yellow walls await anyone who makes a mistake in its four corners. Hello everybody, I'm Tanner Sharp up here in the booth. Alongside me is Mr. Justin Kolb, and in the production truck doing all the button camera pushing is Mr. Carlos Acosta. Justin, Charlotte Motor Speedway, what a famed racetrack. Charlotte can have thrilling races and exciting action. Many last lap pass and last lap accidents and also drivers running out of gas have happened on this historic pavement. As seen as in the past on the grass, as seen as Kyle Petty wrecking Davey Allison, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. running out of gas on the last lap of Kevin Harvick taking the victory. Justin, Charlotte has so much history here, and it's no different when it comes to the 3-wide Racing League. Tell me about your knowledge of the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Absolutely, probably one of the most iconic tracks on the iRacing sim, and you can see here today we're running with the sun out, and well, Tanner, I'm sure you know, and anybody who races iRacing at home knows, Charlotte can be two different tracks. When the lights are on, it can be totally grippy, and when the sun's out like it is here today, it's a totally different animal. Track can be loose. Some guys are saying that it's got a little bit of grip in it, so it can be very challenging to get around these corners. 1 and 2 is almost completely different than 3 and 4, although they look almost similar. The way you drive them is so totally different, and as you mentioned, you know, some guys running out of fuel and the great finishes we've seen here today. This is one of the longer races we're going to have on the season here tonight, 200 laps, basically cut in half of the real Coca-Cola 600. So if cautions fall right, this may just very well be a fuel mileage race at the end.
Other than the Daytona on the 3-wide Racing League's Race King Cup Series schedule, Charlotte Motor Speedway, the 200-lapper, 300 miles, is one of the biggest prestigious races of the league, in my opinion. And the greatest thing that I think this is a great move for the league, in my opinion, is that this race is held during the daytime. Usually you're used to seeing the Coca-Cola 600 held at nighttime, which usually the night races have been happening here at Charlotte since 1992 and was the third largest lighted speedway until 1998's Daytona International Speedway for their Pepsi 400 back in the heyday. But hey, Charlotte's got 24 degrees of banking in the corners of the racetrack and 5 degrees on the banking on the straightaways. And now since we're done talking here about the racetrack here, we know the race fans know everything about the track. Let's talk about the drivers a little bit. Cameron Rich so far on top of the point standings with 509 points. He has 4 wins on according to his belt right there. Paul Ross, second in points. He's got 2 wins knotted up, 57 points back with 452 points. Samuel Close still hunting for that first win of the season. I'm sure he will get it. He's one of the most competitive drivers within the top 10. He's sitting third place in points with 450 points. Peter Short, 393 points with 3 wins on the season. Johnny Thomas rounding out the top 5 in points with 385 points, 124 points back, still looking for a victory. Luis Salmassel, 6th in points. 7th in points is Matt Hackathorn. 8th in points is rookie Dylan Hickey, so that's good for Dylan. Hopefully he can keep the momentum going. He's been pretty quick as of late, last few races that I've seen him in. And as well as Levi Zielinski, who got that victory lane back in Bristol. And Jordan Teal rounding out the top 10 in points. Very interesting top 10. There is some guys outside the top 10 I'm kind of surprised that are not in the top 10. But hey, man, the consistency can really get you up there in the point standings, even if you don't have a win. And Sam Close is probably the person that I can really compare to when it comes to consistency. He has yet to visit victory lane, but he's got 9 top 10s in the first 10 races. That's some pretty impressive stat. Just means he's consistent. It's just a matter of when he's going to visit victory lane, and as well as Johnny Thomas as well. So we talked about the drivers here in the point standings. Right now, drivers are still practicing. We got about 5 minutes-ish left of practice. So looking at the speed charts of practice, Chuck Sweeting on top of the board currently with a 29.746. Levi Zielinski with a 29.789. lap times are relatively very close within the top 10. Paul's third. Paul Ross is third. David Wilson is fourth. Johnny Thomas is fifth. Cameron Rishon in sixth. Luis Salmaso 10th. Jordan Teal in eighth. Kevin Finn in ninth. Todd Smith rounding out the top 10 drivers that are currently in practice. Justin, what is the keys to get around this place? Because I just heard you mention that turn 1 is completely different than turns 3 and 4. I don't know if you've been out here on this racetrack as of recently, but if so, explain to me how those two corners are different.
Well, 1 and 2, it seems so much more easy to drive. It's really easy to, just bring it around the bottom or any line you want, but it seems like 3 and 4, and I've heard this from a couple real-world drivers as well, it just seems so much smaller, so much tighter getting around in 3 and 4, and it's, I feel 3 and 4 is much easier. One mistake, and you're in the wall, and maybe your night's done at that point. But it almost seems like 1 and 2 has so much more room in the track than 3 and 4.
I completely agree with you, and another thing I want to add to your statement is I find that 3 and 4, or turns 1 and 2 have a little more grip than what turns 3 and 4 has. 3 and 4, yeah, it seems a little narrower, but you're not getting in the gas right away like you are in 1 and 2. I ran the truck race about a week ago, and that was a lot of fun, that truck race, because that's exactly what I was experimenting with 1 and 2. I was actually hitting down 1 and 2 just like that, but I couldn't figure out turns 3 and 4. By the time race trim started, I screwed up 1 and 2 and got 3 and 4 written down. So, I mean, a lot can happen as a race goes on. These drivers will be driving with, I think it's a 75% fuel load here tonight, so approximately 40 to 42 laps. That is about the same numbers as the truck race a week ago here in Charlotte. By the way, that truck race what was a night race, so it's gonna be a very different setting than what it is here tonight. So in my opinion, tonight, since we're in the daylight setting here in iRacing, it kind of goes back to its old roots of the old World 600 back when it was held in the day.
And just looking at it, this little 3-car battle here, you could see 2 of those guys experimenting with the high side. We may be able to see that here tonight. I know a lot of guys try and experiment when the sun's out, and really just one more note for 3 and 4. It almost feels like you can drive it in the same as 1 and 2, and then you get in there, and it's just, almost seems like it has more banking. You mentioned it's more narrow, and personally for me, Tanner, I feel like it's so much more easier to make a mistake and get into that outside wall entering the front stretch. It comes up in quite a hurry, much less than the 1 and 2 wall on the back stretch.
Watching Sam Close coming off of turn number 4, just this last time by, as seen on TV right now, they're in 1 and 2. Nick, right now the eyes are on Nick Miller, but hey, he got really close to the outside wall, and that can really come out and grab you. I think turn 4 can really come out and grab him more than 1 and 2, but hey, there's a reason why I think I might want to join Team Blurry in the near future because of that whole paint scheme and what they were talking on Twitter. I won't go into detail. If you want to find more information about that, follow Team Blurry on Twitter or at Nick Miller. Right there's number 22 of Peter Short. Now he's fast wherever he goes, and I tell you what, man, I don't want to be on his bad side because I don't want to lose a Mike's Hard Lemonade because I like those things. But at the same time, he's fast wherever he goes. There's no denying ever Mr. Peter Short. He clips the grass just a little bit. But I don't care, production truck, if he's 15th, he's still pretty quick no matter where he goes. Believe me, he will be in the top 10 tonight. You mark my words.
I was gonna say I just don't think he's quite showing his hand quite yet. As well as Cameron Rich, he might be 7th, but I just don't think they're quite showing their hands just yet.
Teasing the competition. That's what they're doing. They are teasing the competition. Right now, the checkered flag just came out from practice, so that's going to conclude the practice session. So congratulations on Chuck Sweeting winning practice, getting on top of the speed charts right there. That kind of gives a little bit of confidence booster for quite a few of these drivers. One of those drivers is Mr. Nathan Velez. He jumped up to the practice speed charts with a 29.7889, not close enough to Sweeting's time, about 4/100ths off. But right now, qualification has begun. Actually, I don't. Okay, I do. Let's see who we got eyes on right here. This is Kevin Finn. Kevin Finn. Going down the back straightaway. Now this is kind of the preferred line. Dive it down in turn number 3. Oh no.
Oh. I was gonna say I thought our production truck there went into slow-mo, and then I realized that.
Okay, let's go to Mr. Cameron Rich. Let's see if he
this
was
should be interesting.
teasing the field in practice. Coming off turn 4, nice. You want to get to the wall, closest to the wall as close as possible, coming off the exit of the corner, because that's how you're going to create your speed. Down in turn 1, the bottom line looks like he's not totally on the bottom. He gets really totally to the bottom by the time he gets towards the middle, the exit of the corner, washes out to the outside wall, down the back straightaway. Kind of a little bit bumpy back there. Down in turn number 3. Now this is probably the most difficult corners of the racetrack, turns 3 and 4. He's got a solid lap time because he's holding a great wheel right now. A little bit loose coming off the corner, just a little bit, but that's where you're carrying your speed. Second. So Mr. Paul Ross. I think, yeah, and you're only going to get 1 lap out of these tires. So Justin, I mean, the tire wear surprisingly is huge here. So I mean, would you want to go for an early pit strategy to try to gain some tires? Because there were some drivers in the truck race a week ago that were pitting just a little early.
I think absolutely. I mean, I have a good feeling. You know, these tires are going to wear a lot quicker than the night. I'd have to believe it's going to be, you know, track temp at the moment 101 degrees, cooled off about 2 degrees from practice, but that's pretty hot for this track, and it's only gonna, you know, aid in a lot of ill-handling race cars here tonight, I'd have to believe. So I mean, if you're not feeling confident in the car, if it's starting to get a little loose, I'd definitely go for that shorter pitch strategy. But you know, it's 200 laps, we'll have to see how the cautions fall. But
in the truck race a week ago, I stayed out as everybody was pitting. By time I hit pit road and I passed the start-finish line, the caution came out, and I was still able to make my pit box. I was still able to make, to proceed with my pit stop. So realistically, what I had to do was beat the race leader, whoever it was at the time, towards the exit of pit road, and which I did, which kept me on the lead lap. But now the reason why I'm bringing that up is because the longer I stayed out, if the caution had not come out, the more I lost time to those guys that had pitted. So that's something you really want to keep in mind. The longer you stay out, the more you're losing. The more you're losing the position on track. The more you're losing the time. And don't beat yourself on pit road either, because that can be a huge mistake and probably cost you the race. So right now we got just about a little over a minute right now in qualification. Justin, you got the list right here too. Just as what I'm seeing. Any surprises within, at least in the top 10?
Man, I was gonna say he just jumped up to second. Richard Lafferty. I don't know where he found that speed from, but he's up to second on the board. Levi Zielinski's up to third. That's some good speed out of Richard Lafferty. Also, Nick Miller. Shout out to him, currently in the 6th position at the moment. Some good runs up here towards the front. Chad Brown currently with the top 10 position. Richard Hines in 9th.
Kind of crazy. It's because I'm seeing drivers like Lafferty, who was kind of midfield car in practice trim, all of a sudden jump up to second. But there's a couple of drivers who were running in the top 10 in practice, as far as speed charts is concerned, that have not qualified in the top 10. Drivers like Luis Salmaso, Jordan Teal, Peter Short, surprisingly. Let's see, another one's David Wilson. Paul looks like he's showing, hey man, I'm the class of the field here.
And I will say, I think it's, I'm sure you can agree, Tanner, it's like two different animals trying to get 1 lap speed here at the daytime at Charlotte, and trying to get, a full run of good lap times here. I mean, some guys are better at qualifying than others as well. That's probably playing a little bit of a factor in that as well.
This concludes qualification here tonight for the World 300. I'm calling it the World 300 because the setting is just right. It's a daytime setting here in the sim. So congratulations to Mr. Paul Ross, who ran a 29.698, and believe it or not, that is the fastest lap time, faster than practice, than what Chuck Sweeting ran, and Paul actually gained 2/10 on his practice time. So congratulations, Paul, on getting your pole position. Richard Lafferty qualifies second here tonight. Good job, Richard. And Levi Zielinski will start third. Cameron Rich will start in fourth. Kevin Finn starts in sixth. Kevin Finn starts in fifth. Sixth place, Nick Miller. Hey, way to see Nick Miller up there in the top 10. Good starting position for him tonight. Hopefully he keeps it up there. He'll start sixth. Tate Lytle in seventh. Chad Brown in eighth. Richard Hines in ninth. And Johnny Thomas rounding off the top 10 there, Justin.
Yes, sir. Luis Masso is going to start 11th here tonight, with Sam Close starting 12th. Have a good feeling he is not going to finish there. Jordan Teal is going to start 13th here tonight. David Wilson's going to start 14th. Todd Smith going to start in the 15th position, with Peter Short starting next to him in 16th. Again, I think he'll be up there before the night's over as well. Rusty Webb going to start 17th. Matt Hackathorn 18th. Christopher Munger going to start 19th, and James Duke and round out the top 20 here in 20th.
Brent Miller in blackjack position tonight. And Nathan Velez starts in 22nd. Kyle Hanshaw in 23rd. Wade Lear, the last driver to take the qualification time, he'll start 24th. Chuck Sweeting in 25th. And Mike Stevens in 26th. The two drivers who did not take the qualification time. Chuck Sweeting, man, watch out for him. We'll see how he goes here tonight. He was fastest in practice. But right now the cars are ready to go. 200 laps, 300 miles around Charlotte Motor Speedway. Justin, all right, we got a long way to go here. Who's your pick to win here tonight?
Well, it's going to be hard to beat those Eisentech Enterprises guys, but, I'm not going to call him a wild card, but I think Sam Close is going to put it in victory lane here tonight. He's past due here to get a win this season.
All right, I got my eyes on a couple of drivers here tonight. I mean, Sam's a great pick. Paul's a great pick. Cameron's a great pick. Peter's a great pick. But I'm going to go for somebody that's in the deep in the field, Mr. Chuck Sweeting.
That's a good one.
As fast as he was in that truck race, and as much confidence as he has running here in Charlotte, and he was fastest in practice, I think he'll be up there and try to take the checkered flag here tonight. So right now, coming through turns 3 and 4, Paul Ross sitting on the pole here tonight. He's going to get the early start here. Paul Ross, Richard Laffey on the front row. And we are racing for the World 300. Heavy wheel spin by the 59 of Levi Zielinski right on the start. Going to cost a couple positions, a lot of momentum lost for Levi, because now he's balanced side by side with Nick Miller. Nick might have a good run off of turn number 2. I believe, maybe not. He got a little too high there, but it's practically fourth on back. That's going to be the battle.
And I think Paul Ross, there was quite a lot of wheel spin on that initial start. Paul Ross got a little bit of it too, but obviously you saw there Levi Zielinski was the worst loser in all that.
First lap is completed, and it's led by Paul Ross, who will get a bonus point for leading the lap here tonight. That's what Paul wants, is try to get as many bonus points as he can, and I'm sure he's not done winning races. He's already got 2 in the bank. Meanwhile, in second place is Mr. Richard Lafferty, sticking pretty close tabs to Paul at the moment. Let's see what Richard could do. His teammate is Johnny Thomas. He started in 10th, and he's already gained 2 positions since the start. He's already up to 8th place. Cameron Rich currently in 3rd place right now. Some stuff here. But he's being pressured a little bit by Mr. Levi Zielinski, but give Cameron a little time, maybe trying to get the tires heat up just a little bit. Levi, who spun the tires on the start, still remaining in the 4th spot. That actually cost him a position. Kevin Finn in, actually we got a battle for 3rd right there. There goes the Levi on the bottom of Cameron.
We'll take that spot.
Something you don't usually see every day is somebody passing Cameron as of late here in the RaceKings Cup Series. But hey, just trying to figure out the racetrack. It's still early. The track can change as time goes on. Kevin Finn going around the 08 of Tate Lytle. At least trying to. Actually, is that Lytle going around Tate? Or Tate is going around Kevin Finn, excuse me. Oh my gosh, tongue twister.
Well, it's... Oh, and the caution's out.
Uh-oh.
The 48 of Nathan Velez spun around at the exit of turn 4 there. Oh, some other cars, too. 89 of Brent Miller.
First caution of the evening. What happened off of turn number 4 there?
Brent was pretty low down the track, and Nathan obviously had to come up just a little bit there, and unfortunately, contact ensued.
You were telling me, Justin, that you were hearing that the cars were tight, but I don't see any evidence that the 48 was pushing up the racetrack. Looks like the 89 of Brent Miller got into the 48. Oh, Chuck Sweeting's involved. Daggone. My pick. Bunch of drivers going through the grass.
Yeah, Chuck's actually, unfortunately, so is Nathan. They've already disconnected, so they probably know that the damage is probably too great to continue on tonight.
I gotta
That's
go
a shame. You mentioned Tanner. I don't think that Nathan was pushing at all. I'm gonna have to assume that maybe Nathan probably didn't know that Brent was that far down the racetrack. He probably thought he was closer to the wall.
Yeah, I totally agree right there. That's what I'm seeing on the replay, but like it's more like a racing incident, you know, just a mistake. Pit road is open. Let's see who flinches down pit road. Let's see who gains the track position. Right now I'm seeing every single driver hitting pit road. Nobody is staying out, so pits are open. 50 miles an hour is the pace speed. Can't go over that.
And you know what? I would too. You know, you're probably not going to have a whole lot of opportunities to come down pit road, but take them when you can. Oh, someone's hit the pit wall. Oh
man, I tell you what, two drivers I think kind of messed up their pit box, and that's Kevin Finn and Nick Miller. That's costly time for Nick, at least. Who was the driver that hit the pit wall?
Cameron Rich and Chad Brown gonna take 2 tires. I'm not quite sure who hit the wall, but I definitely heard it. But one thing I want to make a note of too here, Tanner, we knew at Pocono we had the line on the backstretch, the blue cone, that you had to make sure you were underneath. I think here at Charlotte, you can see it there in the background. That's going to be even magnified here because you got to get around turns 1 and 2 all the way around the apron, and you know, don't stay under that, and iRacing is going to give you a penalty. So I think that may be something of note here tonight, definitely.
The league has always, throughout the years, as long as I've been a part of 3-Wide Racing League, since its inaugural season back in 2011, has always implemented that rule where you have to stay on the apron until at least a complete exit of turn 2 and safely emerge onto the racetrack. But I think with this, this actually just came out in a recent build with that blue cone. That's actually a gift for the 3-Wide Racing League because iRacing is doing it for them. So that's actually a good thing. One to go signal this time by. Let's reset the field for you. Cameron Rich is on 2 tires, along with Chad Brown on 2 tires. First 4-tire guy is third place driver Paul Ross, who used the pole sitter. Richard Lafferty on back is all on 4 tires. So this is a perfect time to gamble to see if 2-tire strategy is going to work. So we'll see Cameron Rich out front here for the first time here tonight at the World 300. Couple of any bigger gainers? No, not really. Any pit road speeding penalties? No, I'm not seeing any. But I tell you what, the 2 drivers, I believe, was Kevin Finn. Where's Finn at? Finn actually is now 7th, but the biggest mistake was Nick Miller, who was in the back of the pack now after starting the top 10. Could not get into his pit box correctly, so he's got to restart in 22nd. Here we go. Pace car is going to be coming off here. Pace car lights are out. It's going to be Cameron Rich out front for the first time today. Let's see what he can do. And he's off. A lot less wheel spin under this restart.
I'm going to say, I think you guys definitely know what they're dealing with now, so should have saw a lot less of that.
Holy moly. Oh, man, almost contact mid-pack there. But I just seen Paul Ross had a tremendous restart there.
Yeah. All the way up to 2nd now, and trying to chase down Cameron Rich, who took those 2 tires, and I see Kevin Finn falling just a little bit farther back in the field there.
Tate Lytle wants to try to go under attack of Levi Zielinski, but there's a hornet's nest kind of mid-pack back here that almost escalated into an accident. I believe that's Wade Lear in the back of the pack there. That's about 14th spot, getting underneath the 87 of Richard Hines. Hines is dropping back. He's under attack, under fire from David Wilson. Meanwhile, a little bit towards the front right here, trying to see who's battling. 64 Chad Brown on 2 tires against the 4 tires of Richard Lafferty. Let's stay on this battle here for a brief moment here. Actually, that's going to get single file. So what's another battle we could probably look at? There's another battle, 76. James Duke in 11th. Trying to get underneath Sam Close. Sam Close utilizing the higher line on the racetrack. Got to have a great run on James Duke right there. Trying to go for position, and Peter Short's going to follow him. This is actually probably the biggest hornet's nest at the moment as far as drivers going after each other. Meanwhile, Tate Lytle's actually under fire right now from Chad Brown. Oh boy.
Oh, and we see there the Miami Marlins have taken the victory here tonight.
I know, I just jumped out of my seat right there. Man, Levi, take it easy, Levi. I know your nickname's Rowdy, son, but
wow.
Holy moly.
Yeah, that's easy to do, almost hitting that wall off, too. I was going to say, it's going to be interesting to see as these tires get more and more wore out here tonight, how much these guys are turning right, exiting to, it's going to be interesting to see some of the in-cars here, but how about Richard Lafferty? Haven't gotten to talk about him a lot this season, running third and running pretty competitively there in third. Obviously, the 2 leaders out front, Cameron Rich and Paul Ross, kind of running their own race, but Richard holding pretty steady there in third.
Tell you what, tip my hat to Johnny Thomas, too. He's having a good, solid run so far to the start of the race. That's Lafferty's teammate for Johnny Thomas Racing. He's battling side by side with the number 14 of Kevin Finn. That would be a battle for 6th place right now going on. Oh, car in the wall at Sam Close. He got into the wall on entrance. Are we able to pull that up?
Just a little bit of damage there. Oh, yeah, just kind of scraped it, but...
A little bit.
I was going to say, I don't think that's going to... I think it's kind of no harm, no foul. Oh, James Duke just got into the wall just behind Sam. I think just brushed it a little bit. Got a little too high. That's... Talk about hornet's nest.
Battle for 9th. Did the production truck say? Yes, sir. Oh, man, Samassa almost got clipped in a right rear quarter pound coming up, trying to take position away from Jordan Teal. So Samassa gets 9th. Here comes Peter Short underneath, trying to fire on Jordan Teal for position to crack the top 10 for the first time.
I will say, it's definitely cool to see some guys experimenting with that higher line. It's not, you know, we don't get to see that a whole lot here in iRacing, but sun's out, people want to do some experimenting.
I would. I mean, I did that during the truck race. I was probably running about maybe... Oh, Levi Zielinski's in trouble. He was on the apron. What happened? Did he just get loose on entrance like that and just kind of went towards the apron, or something happened?
Almost looked like he just... I don't know if something... Now, he pulled down there himself.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was a little risky there, Levi.
Yeah.
It's cost him quite a few positions, though, because he got past. He was running 4th, so he got passed by Lytle, Thomas, and Finn.
Well, he's going to have to regroup after that one. But currently right on Kevin Finn to see if he can't make those positions back up. And we got a lot of battles going on right now. Sam Close and Chad Brown going at it there. That's for 10th. Now it's going to be Brown and Teal going at it.
Leaders are actually getting closer and closer, but let's keep our eye on the biggest battle at the moment here. I'll keep an update on the leaders. Right now it's only separated by 0.2 of a second. That's 2 tires versus 4 tires. Everybody's kind of fanning out right now, not seeing any major side-by-side battles. Ben Close is actually in 10th, started 12th here tonight. Peter Short's just ahead of him in 9th. How about Finn and Johnny Thomas going at it?
Kevin Finn's going to get that spot by Johnny.
Battle for the race lead. Man, Paul
Yep.
really got tucked up to the back bumper of that number 17 Boeing Ford. Come to the start-finish line here. Paul is there. Now it's just a matter on trying to complete the pass. Let's see what Paul can do in turns 3 and 4. He really closed up on him in turns 1 and 2. He really closed up on him in turns 3 and 4, but could not utilize to make a pass on the 17 of Rich. Just curious what he can do down 3 and 4 right here. Two distinctive lines, a little bit different lines. Here's Paul. He gets a good run in the center of the corner, but cannot make anything stick as far as the exit. Battle is for third place, though, between Tate Lytle and Richard Lafferty. Lytle gets third over Lafferty. Meanwhile, there was another battle that just happened. I think Finn and Thomas are still going at it. Levi Zielinski is closely behind him.
And Levi's going to get that spot by Johnny, and Luis is going to try and follow suit back there. Johnny will lose about 2 positions there, and he'll try not to make it 3 with Peter Short just closely behind as well.
Well, go ahead.
I was going to say, Peter does have that nose that, yeah, I'm not Johnny seems to be falling back. I'm not sure if he kind of overused his stuff a little bit early or not, but he's quickly falling the wrong way here. I think Blos is gonna probably get that spot before too long as well.
Pretty much single file racing, close racing though. As far as single file is concerned, it's just a matter of trying to pass somebody, trying to experiment the lines just a little bit, because you know you got a long race.
And, you know, with Johnny falling back, that brings up a point I was going to make earlier, you know. This is a 200-lap race. It's a very long race. You don't want to have to use your stuff up early here. And I'm not sure if that's what Johnny's dealing with right now, or if maybe he's just... Oh, the caution's out. The 63 of Mike Stevens around entering turn 3 there. Saw him go a little low there on the back straightaway. He must have had contact there on that right side. Oh no, he just got loose and then loose again.
Oh, hard licking to the outside wall.
Yeah. Matt Hackathorn had to really avoid that one. That was a strange one, Tanner.
Strange one indeed. Let's see on board camera here. Yep, turn 2 bit him. And he tried to regain control, still fighting the wheel halfway down the back straightaway.
Yeah, he just never quite had that one. Well, that's certainly a shame for Mike. You know, he started out the season strong and hasn't really been able to put good finishes back together. And hopefully he can get back on track before too long here. Everyone's on pit road.
That was about a 16-lap run right there on green flag tires, and right now pit road is open. This played out good for Cameron Rich, who took 2 tires. Kyle Hanshaw did stay out under this caution, and was there a mistake? Oh, there's a couple mistakes on pit road. I know Lafferty was one of them. I wonder if I'm going back to make sure that Cameron didn't make a mistake. No, he didn't. He's good. Just double checking, because a couple drivers made a mistake under this caution flag, and I know Lafferty is one of them. No, and looks like 4 tires for Rich, so that was a good call by him to stay out front. Tate Lytle on 4 tires, so as well as Paul Ross. And 4th, Levi Zielinski and Luis Salmaso, the top 5 drivers exiting pit road. Kyle Hanshaw is the Lone Ranger outside right now. He has yet to lead a lap officially.
And I'm curious if that's what he's going to try and do here, stay out for lap, maybe lead a lap, then come down, or if he's going to try and lead a couple laps here.
Sadly, though, I don't think there's a lucky dog, so I think pit road may have closed for him since there's no lucky dog. We'll have to see next time by if that's a true statement or not, but Hanshaw now officially leads a lap. It looks like it was pretty clean racing for the most part here in the early going of this race. I know we got a long way to go here. If we keep getting these caution flags, what's the strategy to get up towards front?
That's going to be the $1 million question, isn't it? It's you know, we've seen some guys who have fast cars been able to work their way up through the field, and some guys have kind of, you know, longer into the run, kind of abused their stuff a little bit and started falling back just a little bit. But I think it's just going to all come down to tire management and really just not abusing your stuff as we get later into these runs. Remember, these fuel runs are going to be about 40 to 42 laps should we, you know, get a complete run going. So you got to stay out for that long. It's going to be really hard to maintain those tires, I'd have to believe.
Let's see right now if a Hanshaw comes down pit road.
Yes, here it comes.
Okay. I was just about to say, you're going to get freight trained there, Hanshaw.
Well, yeah. Because we do have a Kyle Hanshaw fan in the chat. Just Lindberger. So, your man led a lap.
Get her done.
Going to get some points there.
We're moving.
Yes, sir.
Good to see everybody in the chat tonight. Keep lighting it up.
Sir?
Ah! Kind of reading the chat here. Hello, Jessica. Hello, Levi. Hello, Corey. Hello, Chuck. Hello, Jess. Hello, everybody.
Yeah, good to see you watching here tonight, Corey. It's a shame we can't have you on the track. We know you dealing with a family emergency there, so hope everything gets well soon, and hope to see you back at the track soon, buddy.
Absolutely. Thoughts and prayers are with you, Corey. All right, let's reset the field here. Cameron Rich is going to be your race leader. Everybody is on 4 tires. Tate Lytle in second. Paul Ross third. Levi Zielinski fourth. Luis Salmasso running out the top 5. And here we go. Let's see what Cameron now. We know what he can do on 2 tires. And so we can probably guess what he's going to do on 4 tires. We're back Green Flag Racing. First side-by-side battle is going to begin between Paul Ross and Tate Lytle. And I tell you what, Paul's not going to give up without a fight on Tate. I know Tate's pretty fast. He was gaining positions. But everybody's kind of battling right now, side-by-side. Let's see how this pans out.
Everybody battling except for Cameron Rich there. Boy, was he on it on that restart. He's already cleared him by a good 5 car lengths there into 3.
I would be. I mean, I would be like, see ya.
Yeah. Might as well. Try and get out there as far as you can before everybody gets tires kind of equal out there.
Oh, man, Sam Close is having a really good battle with Peter Short right now for an 8th spot on the speedway. Oh, car on the apron in the back. What was that?
That's the 46. Well, no, we do see the 46 of Kyle Hanshaw coming down pit road, and I think the production truck was correct there. He did get a black flag for probably closed pit road there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Well, he got the lap led, but unfortunately cost him in a big way. It looks like he's gonna lose a lap.
Long way to go.
Yeah, definitely a long night for sure.
All right, back up towards the front because it's getting hairy. Levi Zielinski's trying to get underneath the number 4 of Luis Salmasso. And meanwhile, while that's happening, you got Kevin Finn all tucked up into the back bumper of Levi Zielinski, along with, who's that, Richard Lafferty? That's Lafferty. Lafferty's back after a little bit of pit road miscue, but he's still remaining in the top 10. Finn's going to go to the high side. This is the first side-by-side battle on the racetrack between Finn and Lafferty. Lafferty having a tremendous run in this early portion of the race here tonight. Nothing happening up towards the front. What happened to Johnny Thomas? He wasn't. Oh, yeah, he's still in the top 10. He's back there in 10th place right now, still minding his P's and Q's. Looks like Finn is going to hang on to his position right there in front for 6th place. Everybody's sort of single file. Looks like Zielinski wants to try to get underneath Salmasso. Does not happen.
Hey, what? It's a good night to be in. Yeah, Paul is there. I was going to say, it is a good night to be in Johnny Thomas Racing. You got Tate Lytle up there in 3rd, Richard Lafferty 7th, John Thomas, boss man in 10th, and Wade Lear just behind in 13th, but their car is stepping it up tonight.
I'm sorry, there was a 3rd car, wasn't there, for Johnny Thomas? There's 4 cars, excuse me. Johnny Thomas, Hanshaw, Lytle, and Lear, and as well as the 8 of Lafferty. At least that's what I'm reading as far as their teams going.
They got them tuned up tonight, and speaking of tuned up, this race for the lead is starting to get a little intense. Paul moving up a lane there, just a little bit.
Yeah, but the more he's kind of riding behind Rich, look who's trying to catch Ross, and that's Lytle.
Been down a lane there, trying to break a little bit of the draft down the straightaway.
Oh man, there's some close quarters, bumper to bumper action back here. Trying to see, is that way? That's practically Wade Lear, Chad Brown, David Wilson. You guys were all up in each other's back bumpers. This is the back of the pack though. This is practically what, 12th on back there. Otherwise, everybody within the top 10 riding single file. Levi Zielinski looking towards the inside on Salmasso. Cannot complete a pass on corner exit. He might be able to make it stick this time, by.
Gonna say Kevin Finn just behind him too had quite the run there out of 4. He's gonna try and follow Levi, I'd have to believe, down on this inside line. Levi has got the advantage. He's actually gonna have to back it up just a little bit there on corner exit.
Seems like the higher line is now coming in there, Justin.
Yes, it seems like they're definitely working that in well.
You can try that bottom line, but it's probably not going to help you on the as far as the corner exit of the corner.
I'll tell you what, seeing that high side is a nice change of pace here on iRacing. And you know, Charlotte races I've done, I really haven't seen anybody go up there and venture that high. And tonight looks like that's going to be the preferred line, so it's nice to see that.
I know I keep mentioning the truck race, but, you know, I'm watching these guys, and I see Kevin Finn going underneath Levi Zielinski. This would be a battle for 5th spot on track. But I tell you what, you know, I know I keep mentioning the truck race. The more I'm watching these guys out here, and they're utilizing that high line, the more I can really, you know, reminisce back to that truck race a week ago. Because on fresher tires, you know, a lot of drivers run the bottom side. As far as like maybe 3-4 laps later, you're kind of transitioning towards the middle groove into the higher side of the racetrack. And that's how I was trying to get my runs on the corner exit. That's how I was getting my runs on Paul, was the high line. He was actually really killing me in turns 1 and 2, though. So, speaking of the high line, Paul has caught the race leader, but has yet to do anything with Cameron at the moment. Cameron still holds on to the race lead right now. We got a long way to go, though. Yeah. Paul still in 2nd.
I will say, you know, we're only on lap 38, coming to 39 of 200, so there's definitely not any, there shouldn't be any sense of urgency to get up to that front quite yet.
Yeah, most definitely not. So far, currently, I'm reading 22 drivers currently on the lead lap at the moment.
Unfortunately, if the caution came out, Kyle Hanshaw, who just got that lap down.
Paul! Holy moly! I think he got loose. I don't think he tried to go for a pass. He got loose.
Oh, he absolutely did.
Man, he wrecked it. He just didn't hit anything.
Yeah. Yeah, thank God he didn't hit that turn 2 wall there. He was actually a good couple feet away from it, so that's the best situation you want to be in, and that's... Yeah.
He was just a passenger.
Well, obviously he's going to lose some ground to Cameron Rich there. Now the battle's going to be on for a second.
Oh, Lytle, man.
Oh,
Zielinski.
Hold on to it, Levi.
Levi!
I'm going to say, Levi had been... Yeah, I think he's coming to pit road.
Oh.
He's trying to hold it on that apron. I'd have to believe he's going to come to pit road.
Yeah, and I'm board back there, production truck?
Oh, no, he's just
okay.
Holding on to it.
I missed on your live thing there, production truck there, but I tell you what, yeah, Levi, he may have damage, but it's gonna be a long race. But I'd say try to regain your composure and get everything you can out of this. You know you're fast. Ignore the damage at the moment, and you got what you got now.
And don't wreck the car any further is really what you have to do. He's fallen all the way back to 16th. I'd have to assume those tires are kind of scorched at this point, but just ride this run out and see what you can make of it next run.
Man, there, Levi, he's back in 16th now, battling with Hackathorn back there for the 15th spot. Meanwhile, Peter Short is actually getting underneath Richard Lafferty, excuse me. That was a successful pass by Peter Short, so that'll move Peter into 6th position. Paul, that little bit of looseness actually did not really hurt Paul that too much, because he's only about now 7/10. He actually had a slower he got really tight off of turn number 4, which slowed his momentum more. But we'll keep an eye on that as this race goes on. Anybody else still battling here?
Oh, yep.
James Duke.
Fair battle developing back there.
That's what, Nick Miller back there? Yep. Oh, Nick, man, he fished it. Man, he got loose off turn 2.
Pushing up just a little bit there.
Well,
Yeah.
trying to do a comparison of lap times here, Justin. I'm kind of going with the race leader on this one. Last time by, he ran a 31.379. His best lap of the race was a 29.974. That's how much tires have fallen off.
Yeah, that's a good second fall off there, and I'd have to believe probably only about halfway through the run, so expect that to probably fall another second, if that.
Yeah, I'm expecting at least somebody to flip. As far as an early pit stop guy who wants to take the tires as an advantage, I expect him to probably come down within the next 15 laps from now.
I'd say that's a good guesstimate there.
Just trying to. If you can pit, yeah, I'll go ahead there, Justin.
I was gonna say everyone's just kind of strung out at the moment, just kind of seeing what you got. But
I got Wilson, David Wilson going under. Oh, Tate Lytle, second place. Battle. Lytle on the bottom. Ross is on the high side. Ross had a good run, man. Lytle, he get to Ross, he just gets really loose getting underneath him. Ross holds on to second place. Cameron Rich has pulled away at about a 1.5-second lead.
Gonna say is these guys, well, Tate Lytle fell back a little bit there. Now we'll fall into the clutches of Luis Salmaso there, but I was gonna say is those guys started to heat up a little bit. Cameron Rich is just kind of slowly pulling away here.
Then we got a battle for third going on. Salmaso.
That's a good battle developing there, and it's about to heat up even further here.
Just a matter of how. Oh man, he really got close to that left rear quarter panel, and Salmaso ain't gonna give up without a fight. Lytle is under fire from Salmaso. Popcorn position on these two drivers will probably be either Kevin Finn or Peter Short, because Short and Finn are actually in the are in that area.
And as soon as that heated up, kind of cooled down there. See there, Peter Short trying to mount a little run there on the 14 of Kevin Finn. Gonna try and get the nose underneath, and he will. Boy, did he have the momentum down that front straightaway. And I believe Kevin Finn should have the momentum there on that. Oh my goodness! I'll say, I thought I saw that car starting to spin around.
Man, Peter.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Hold on to her, Peter.
I love them onboard cameras.
Wow. Look at those hands.
And that's all. I tell you what, I don't know. I think Peter, I mean, he did great during Rallycross for 3Y Racing earlier in the year. And I tell you what, if he's been doing Rallycross lately or any kind of dirt on iRacing, man, that's paid off. I don't care what anybody says. And folks, this is a 3,400 pound race car, man. This thing's no joke.
Now that was his real input there, by the way. So the hands working right and left. That was all him.
Damn close. Looked underneath Richard Lafferty. Was not able to complete the pass off of turn number 4. Lafferty got the nice run off. So let's see what Sam can do to try to regain that run on Lafferty. Lafferty just a little loose off of turn number 2. Looks like turn 2 is the nail-biter corner for these drivers as far as a handling race car. I haven't seen too much of that turn number 4. And you got Paul Ross, who just lost second to Tate Lytle. It was a clean pass, very much like what Sam was trying to do on Lafferty. Pass. Wow, two distinctive lines. Kind of more like, okay, I'm going to let you go. I can see if I can catch you later kind of deal, because it looked like Paul did not really put up too much of a fight there.
Oh, and just behind that, we have a battle for the 5th spot with Kevin Finn and Peter Short. Short just a little bit loose out of 4 again. But he's still fighting back there.
Everybody's loose.
Yeah. And we definitely knew that was going to be the condition here tonight, and it was only going to get worse as the tires got more and more track time.
Yeah, drivers, I thought were saying that it was going to be tight. It was tight out there, but it looks like as the run went on, it looks like it's getting looser and looser as far as turn 2 is concerned. Turn 4 hasn't been, looks like not too much of a problem for these drivers. I've only seen a couple drivers who actually gone through the grass area and picked up a chunks of grass. There goes Sam Close trying to get underneath Lafferty once again for position. That would be a battle for 7th.
And you'll take that spot.
Sam gets a position. Lafferty falls back. Still got a good chunk of Johnny Thomas drivers up there in the top 10, as well as 30G Racing and Isentech Enterprise. Good mix of bag of teams up there in the top 10. I can say that much.
Absolutely, and there's some guys still in the top 10 that we don't get to talk a whole lot about. You know, Richard Lafferty up there in 8th currently.
Yeah, Lafferty just tried to go underneath Sam, maybe try to go for position, but obviously Sam is in the preferred line as far as on the corner, on the exit of the corner. Lafferty's still sticking strong with Sam at the moment. Oh, car headed towards pit road. Who was that back there?
That would be the 83 of Johnny Thomas.
Short pitting. This is about the time. This is about 30 laps. Yep, this is the 30 lap mark as far as last time they visited pit road, including the last 2 caution laps. Right after they made a pit stop.
I say, let's see if this is.
Oh,
this
he
forces.
undershot it. Go ahead there, Justin.
I was gonna say, let's see if this forces anybody else's hand to possibly pit. You know, it seems like once one guy comes down, the rest comes down, but let's see if that's going to be the case, or if everybody's going to stick to their strategy.
I see the 9 of Miller. Yep. Miller's coming down. He was in the back of the pack. Was running in the top 10 earlier, but let's see who comes down. Flinches this time. So far, Lafferty's in. All right, I'd say right now, if you're anybody within the top 10, I'd say either Cameron, Tate, Paul, Luis, Peter, maybe Sam, Kevin. I mean, all of them drivers should try to think about coming down pit road now, because the longer you stay out there realistically, the more you're losing the track time. But the kicker is, if we stay green, you're going to gain that back, because tires mean a lot here in Charlotte.
Oh, absolutely. Mentioned the fall off earlier. It's probably about a second and a half at this point.
Well, right now it starts the window, because right now it's been 34 laps, including the caution laps that we ran. It's about 34 laps since they last pitted. So I did say in the next 15 laps we'll see some early goers, and we have seen that.
Well, man, that's some tight racing right there with Peter Short and Luis Salmaso. You just saw there.
Yeah, any tighter than that without wrecking it.
Yeah.
Production truck, you always lying to me back there?
And
Hackathorn.
Matt Hackathorn coming down pit road.
Alright, he was actually outside the top 10. Yeah. Peter Short's tried looking underneath Salmaso. Realistically, you can fold probably Ross, Salmaso, Short, over under a blanket there. Anybody gonna flinch down pit road this time, by?
I do have the radio on to see if anybody's gonna call it, but nobody has made a move or made a call quite yet. Jordan Teal's actually
Ooh, here goes, excuse me, here goes Peter Short for 4th place on Luis Masso.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jordan Teal was running in the 14th spot. He's actually disconnected. Not quite sure what happened there.
Oh boy, that's very unfortunate right there for Jordan Teal. Oh man, Peter Short really got loose, but hey, here comes Nick Miller with fresher tires.
Oh.
Nick really doesn't have anywhere to go.
Gonna say, he was starting to push up, but he got a handle on it real quick before he got into the door of the 4. Oh, Brent Miller, you see, coming off pit road there, and Nick Miller having some connection issues.
Yeah, man, looked a little different on my screen. That's why I went, ooh, man. But he blinked out there for a second. He's all right. Right now he's on fresher tires, but he's got nowhere to go with it.
Essentially, the track blocked just in front of him between Peter Short and Luis Almasa.
At the same time, you kind of got to give these guys a little respect, too, because they're battling for position right now.
Absolutely.
That's battle for 4th place.
You can see, I'm sure Nick's going to start to get a little frustrated with that, but...
Man, 22 really got loose off of turn number 2. He wrecked it twice already off of turn number 2. Just didn't hit anything.
Wow.
Hit.
Well, now Nick's going to have a line through there, but...
Chad Brown to pit road. Finally, Chad blinks to the pits. Let's see if anybody's going to blink this time by him, because we're already hit 40 laps. We're going to be coming to 41 laps. This is about the fuel window here. Maybe you can run a couple extra more laps because due to the caution flag, caution laps. Man, it is like a hornet's nest practically from Paul Ross on back, really, with a gaggle of cars running nose to tail, single file racing. Gaggle. I'm sorry.
We're having speaking classes here in the production truck. Oh, Christopher Munger down pit road there.
Did you just say illegal car production truck?
Oh, yeah. Oh, and here comes Peter Short, Kevin Finn. Who else is behind there? David Wilson as well. All right.
Get the pit road now. Get the pit road now. I'm telling you.
Yeah, this will be a good time for
Finn,
leaders
Short,
come down.
Wilson, Lear, Hines, all the pit road.
Oh, leader's gonna stay out.
I bet Paul's gonna come in though. Nah, maybe not. Paul, what are you doing, man? Usually he's one of the earlier goals to come to pit road. Hey, Sam Close is actually battling with Richard. Nope, he's not. Lafferty actually pitted, excuse me. Top 7 drivers have yet to visit pit road. Johnny Thomas being the freshest driver on the tires. It's been about 11 laps since he last pitted. And there goes Cameron.
Locked him up just a little bit there. Gonna make sure he got it down to 60 mile an hour.
New leader, Tate Lytle.
Excuse me, 50. Oh, someone has hit the wall.
With the wall.
Someone's through the grass. I heard it on... I think that may have been Mike... Yeah, it was Mike Stevens. He hit the wall coming out of turn 4 and kept it straight.
Still remains on track with some pretty heavy, significant damage on the right front. Oh, man. Drivers trying to get the pit road. Gaggle of drivers. Paul Ross is down. Sam Close stays out. Tate Lytle's down.
Luis Salmasa down. Here comes Levi Zielinski down pit road. And it's just Sam Close who needs to still bring it down pit road. He will be the last one.
Close and James Duke. Last.
Oh yes, excuse me, James Duke. He's cycled through.
Sam's coming right now.
And here comes Sam.
Sam!
Knocks the cone down.
Ooh, yeah, I know. That's if anything, that's going to cost him time on pit road, for sure.
Oh, and he's hit the wall
Yeah,
on pit road.
That's
Definitely misses pit box. This is he's gonna lose a whole bunch of time. He's got to back it up.
He's got to back it up fully because he's too close to the inside wall.
Are they? I'm gonna say no. They're not servicing the car.
They are not serving us. Yeah, they're not serving his car. He needs to readjust it, and he backed out. He's out.
Oh man,
too much time. Johnny Thomas, second place. James Duke is currently the race leader. He's the pit road. Johnny Thomas now passes him for the lead. Johnny's going to lead the lap for the first time today. And second place is his teammate, Lafferty. So good. I mean, what a way to get yourself up towards the front. But the problem is, fresh tires Cameron, he's coming.
Peter Short has worked his way up into the 4th spot. He was kind of struggling with track position there a little bit, but worked his way back up.
Justin, I love green flag pit stops, but man, it can really turn of a top. It can really turn a race upside down, just like that, for some drivers and drivers who still remain out there. Because right now, Cameron Rich, who was a race leader, he's currently in 3rd. He's just got to pass Lafferty and Thomas.
And Sam's back on track there, but gotta realize too that Johnny Thomas and Richard Lafferty, they came. Oh, and Sam's actually gonna lose it, and 3's gonna save it. And down pit road again. Yeah, that's definitely speeding.
That's speeding. So for Sam Close, it has now become from bad to worse.
Absolutely, 2 laps down now.
Big gun. Paul Ross currently in 7th place back there. Hackathorn had a good momentum outside the top 10. He's currently in 8th right now.
Cam did get by Richard Lafferty there, and Johnny Thomas not too far behind there. You see just behind, and really no contest there. Cameron Rich is going to take the lead over from Johnny Thomas.
I think he pitted just a little too early, Thomas, in my opinion. Yeah, I'd say stay at least like 3 to 4 more laps.
Either that. I mean, I haven't quite worked it out yet. Maybe just trying to set it up for later in the race should this stay green. About 10 laps earlier, you'd have to see if that works out for him.
That's true. Realistically, if you're really trying to go for the halfway bonus and trying to set that up.
Yeah.
There is a halfway bonus, folks, and what I mean by that is the top 10 drivers are going to get paid bonus points, heavy bonus points, if you're up towards the front. But we will still remain green. Sam Close, 3 laps down. Sam's day, I don't know. It got worse.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, there is a lap down rule here, folks, too. Speaking of laps down, for example, Todd Smith is currently 6 laps down. If you are 6 laps down or more, you have to park for the remainder of the race. So that means he's already parked. Jordan Teal's already parked. Nathan Velez is still in session, but he's parked it, and as well as Chuck Sweeting. Who's back in chat? Casey Kane. Cool. Oh, well, I was driving. Alrighty. Well, I think this is a pretty cool time right now. I'm not seeing any big battles on the racetrack at the moment here, unless you're spotting something, Justin. Kind of want to take a gander through the top 10 here. So let's go ahead and go through the top 10. Cameron Rich, what a whale of a race so far he's had. What a whale of a season he's having. So far started 4th. Got out front by a 2-tire strategy, and it seemed to work out in his favor. And he is out front, been out front practically ever since. So Cameron Rich leading the way. Peter Short having a good race, started 16th on the day, currently in 2nd. Got to hunt down Cameron about 2 seconds back. Got loose again, but I tell you what, his biggest enemy right now is turn 2. Nobody else. Johnny Thomas gets 3rd place right now on older tires, but soon to be under attack from Richard Lafferty and Kevin Finn. Actually, there's a battle going on right there right now between Lafferty and Finn. Battle for 4th, and they will soon gun down the 83 of Johnny Thomas. But I tell you what, Lafferty is on the same older tire sets as Johnny Thomas. So Lafferty and Thomas are on the same strategy. Those 2 drivers are teammates. Kevin Finn currently remaining in 4th on fresher tires than those 2 drivers. Paul Ross currently in 6th right now. Lost a lot of time, but just trying to gain that time back. Right now, you got Kevin Finn going underneath Johnny Thomas. Should be no competition between these 2 drivers due to the amount of tires. It's about 9 to 10 lap old tires exactly. Thanks, production truck, for keeping track of that for me there. Just kind of watching these drivers. Oh man, Lafferty almost got him back of his teammate there. Paul has caught these drivers. All we know is fast. He just lost a lot of time. He's going to need a caution flag, in my opinion, to have any catch on Cameron. Problem is, with Paul, he's about 7.5 seconds back. All right, while that unfolded right there, Lafferty and Thomas have backed up to 5th and 6th. How about Mr. David Wilson? Started 14th, up there in 7th. He's driving his Twitch car. He does VR headsets. Right behind him is a tight battle between Salmasso and Lytle. Actually, not Lytle, excuse me, but Salmasso is battling right now with David Wilson. That's a battle for 7th place on the Speedway. See what Salmasso can do on Wilson. Here's actually the biggest battle on track that I'm seeing. Looks like, Salmasso does get Wilson. About 3 lap older tires between the 2 drivers. So Salmasso up to 7th, and Salmasso started 11th here tonight. David Wilson started 14th. Tate Lytle started 7th, got his way up towards the top 10, but couldn't do anything to try to get the race lead. He actually has led a lap here tonight, but he was running in 2nd place, and he's currently running in 9th. Johnny Thomas losing another position to Luis. Will soon lose another position to that number 39, David Wilson. But how about Chad Brown as well? Started 8th, still remaining in the top 10, currently in 10th, having a solid day for Chad. Good job, Chad.
Who is that on Chad's door?
Oh man, Nick Miller in trouble. What happened there? Get on replay.
Oh man.
Got loose.
Tanner, I think that's the first time we've seen someone get loose out of 4 there, and I mean, didn't hit the wall, but kind of took a little safari. Oh, and he's hit the wall in turn 3, actually.
Oh, he's gonna bring.
Oh, he pounded it there. He killed it right there. I mean, he hammered it.
That's enough. That's enough to knock all a toe.
Yeah, I'd have to believe that might be it for him tonight.
That's unfortunate for Nick Miller. Had a great starting spot here tonight. Started 6th tonight for Nick. Fortunately, it's not meant to be. Tate Lytle going under, trying to get underneath the number 8 of Richard Lafferty. That would be a battle for 6th. Johnny Thomas has fallen all the way back to 9th.
Kind of expected with Johnny as well. You know, he took those tires about 10 laps earlier than the rest of the field, and almost seems like he kind of wears out the tires a little bit quicker than the rest of the field, but
yeah, you know, it's been right now at 32 lap old tires for Johnny Thomas. Now, last time he visited pit road, he made a 30 lap stint. And that was including caution flags, though. Right now he's running actually a little longer, which is probably a good thing. Battle for
there.
fourth. Kevin Finn and Luis Amasso. About 5-lap difference on tires between these two drivers. Oh, Finn really close to the outside wall. May have actually tagged it.
Yeah, here's this battle that I was monitoring between David Wilson and Richard Lafferty. David's gonna get that spot away.
That's 10-lap older tires between the two drivers.
Yes, with Richard Lafferty having the older.
11 laps, excuse me.
Use us. Production truck getting fresh over there.
Nobody else is battling. Everybody else kind of stranded out right now. Cameron Rich still has about a 4-second lead over Peter Short. Paul Ross is 8 seconds back. He's 4 seconds behind Peter Short, and that's actually increasing to 4.5. Justin, if you want to go ahead and talk about a little bit about track cams.
Absolutely, it's the usual track or cam provider here. I've been seeing some great cameras here tonight. As always, they've been provided by Track Cams for Gourmet. You can find more information and download the pack at www.trackcams22.com or facebook.com/trackcams. And of course, always want to thank Thomas Morris from OCR TV for the amazing graphics package you see here tonight.
We are 9 laps away. Actually, excuse me, 8 laps away now from the halfway bonus points.
And it wouldn't be, the usual race wouldn't be too far from the end at this point, but we got a whole nother 100 laps to go, and the 44s looked like a late decision to come onto pit road.
That was Hackathorn.
Man. To say, you got to realize how difficult it is to get down this pit road. You're going about 160 through 3 and 4, and you have to slow it down all the way to 50 mile an hour. So you got to knock 100 mile an hour speed off the car before you get to that line. That's not the easiest thing to do.
Unless you're going to start doing pit stops during All-Star Race qualifying to where you can speed on pit road.
Wouldn't that be a sight?
Hackathorn is done. He's already out and away. Looking at my timing and scoring so far, nobody has visited pit road yet, and we are 6 laps. Lafferty's on pit road. Thomas, too.
Looks like they're going to stick to their strategy a little bit here.
A little bit of a longer run for these two fellows. But I don't know if it's going to be enough for that halfway bonus, because Cameron's already working on 27 laps, and he pitted. If he were to pit, if it stick on the same strategy, Cameron would just have to wait for about 12 to 13 laps from here on out. Maybe 14. 44 just drives by the leader.
Those fresh tires.
Yeah, that's just the difference between the fresh tires to the old tires.
Nick Miller's still out there, though, just behind leader Cameron Rich there, just trying to soldier out the best finish he can. Currently 3 laps down.
4 laps to go until the halfway bonus.
Yeah.
So far, I've only seen Lafferty and Thomas hit pit road, and that's it. Hackathorn as well.
Only up on, 30 laps on this run, so I'd have to imagine, their next stop would be around 110, so.
Yeah. So realistically, this strategy kind of took Lafferty and Thomas, those two Johnny Thomas racing teammates, out of the equation as far as getting halfway bonus points, because both drivers were running, strong within the top 10. All right, 2 laps to go for Cameron Rich to clinch that. Meanwhile, trying to go through the field here, nobody within the top 10 is really battling. If any battle is going to happen, it's between Kevin Finn and Tate Lytle. That's kind of closing, but I'll keep an eye on that as this
and then continues. 89 down the back straightaway has crashed hard. That's the 89 of Brent Miller.
Oh no, no caution.
He's off the racing surface, so they did not call a caution for that.
He took a tow.
I'd have to imagine got loose off too. Oh no, some contact between him and Richard Lafferty is what caused that one.
Ouch.
That may have been another racing incident there, you know.
Well, you're coming.
Brent wasn't.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's true. Yeah, he was on fresher tires, and I mean, Brent wasn't all the way out to the wall. I think Richard may have thought that he would have been closer to the wall. He was about a lane down, but obviously he doesn't have to be up to the wall. But Richard probably thought that's where he was going to be at.
Stage winner, and we still remain green. We do not throw yellow flags as a halfway point for these halfway bonus points. Cameron Rich will get those 10 bonus points. And now the top 10 is practically free to come down pit road if you're going for them top 10 bonus points. So just trying to get all my ducks in a row here. Oh, Hines is actually in the wall just a little bit in turns 3 and 4. So far he's in 10th place. The top 10 drivers getting bonus points from first place getting 10 points and decreasing by 1. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cameron Rich, Peter Short, Paul Ross, Luis Salmasso, Kevin Finn, Tate Lytle, David Wilson, Chad Brown, Wade Lear, and Richard Hines all getting halfway bonus points.
But again, I'd have to expect these guys to stay out just a little bit longer. Probably around 110. It's going to be really interesting to see how this works out for the 2 JTR guys, Richard Lafferty and Johnny Thomas.
I'd say 7 more laps.
Wow, that's a statistic for you. Only 11 cars left on the lead lap. That's pretty impressive, the clinic that Cameron Rich is putting on tonight. 7 second lead over second place Peter Short. Like Levi Zielinski was up in the wall there a little bit.
Levi?
Off of 4, yeah. He got pretty close.
Man, he's got some pretty... Oh, Nick's in the grass. Nick's spinning. Man, Nick is going to get a penalty, too, for that because he just drove through pit road.
And it looks like he's just going to stop. Yeah. Oh, no, he's not. He's going to keep going.
Caution!
Oh, and the caution's out.
That cannot be for Nick, though.
I think that might have been. There was nobody else. Yeah, I don't know what that was. I mean, he was off the racing. He was off the racing surface. So, I mean,
yeah, that's no different than what we've seen with Brent Miller, though.
And I mean, nobody called that caution, so that's pretty interesting.
I'm just gonna double check this. I'm just gonna see when the pace car lights turned on here.
Wow.
Yeah, according to my live timing and scoring here, caution flag for Nick Miller.
And obviously, I'd have to believe Nick didn't want to bring out that caution. He was, again, off the racing surface. We saw, like you mentioned, Brent Miller was off the apron, and if you're off the, on the apron, iRacing shouldn't call that a caution, but...
I can't put fault on Nick on that.
No,
I mean, he was just trying to tow, and all of a sudden the caution came out, but he was in the grass, so it didn't really affect anything. Oh, you want to know what I think it was? That pit exit line. I think that's what triggered it, because that pit exit line is now kind of like an open thing for pit roaders. And speaking of pit road, everybody's down pit road this time by. And this totally messed up Johnny Thomas racing drivers, because now they are stuck 1 lap down, and neither Johnny or Richard are the lucky dog drivers, so they would have to take a wave around, providing they stay out this entire caution flag.
That's gonna
hurt them.
Literally throw my numbers out the window, so everyone's gonna be on the same strategy. Except for, as you mentioned, the GTR guys are gonna be down a lap, so see if they can work out of that jam. I mean, still have about 95 laps to go, so obviously still a very long time before this race is over.
All right, so the race off pit road, Cameron Rich, Peter Short, Paul Ross, Luis Salmasso, Kevin Finn, the top 5. Rusty Webb, David Wilson, Chad Brown, Richard Hines, Tate Lytle, the remainder of the top 10. And I'm actually showing Webb did not pit. Like he's going down pit road now.
Yes.
So technically this would make Wade Lear in 10th place. All right. I got to get a little drink here to recuperate.
Yeah. That was a good long run. Obviously an unexpected caution, but that's kind of going to reset everybody and reset me a little bit on the numbers.
Sorry, taking pretty good slugs of drink here, but yeah, absolutely, because we've seen a really long green flag run. This is only the third caution of the race here tonight.
I believe so, yeah.
So it's been very clean racing for the most part.
Oh, hey, we got it. 3 cautions for 9 laps, and I mean they've been pretty quick cautions as well. So
yeah,
obviously this one's going to be a little bit longer with some guys lap down, but. Rusty Webb's actually taking a extended stay on pit road. Not quite sure what's going on in that car. Probably actually repairing some damages he's going to pull off now.
You know, in future reference, I really hope this has been a great race. I really hope future reference that the 3-ride racing league makes their World 300 remain as a day race. This just brings back memories as if you're a NASCAR fan and you're a vintage guy. The World's 600 was always ran in the daytime before the lights were installed. Right now we got the 1-to-go signal right now, so let's go ahead and reset the field for you. Cameron Rich, currently your race leader as of right now. Peter Short is currently in 2nd place. Everybody's on 4 tires, by the way. 3rd place is Paul Ross. 4th place, Luis Salmasso. 5th place, Kevin Finn. 6th place, David Wilson. Chad Brown in 7th. Richard Hines in 8th. 9th place, Tate Lytle, and Wade Lear rounding out the top 10. Wade Lear also part of Johnny Thomas Racing, so hopefully maybe he can get something done, as well as Tate Lytle in the 08 car.
And then you have Levi Zielinski and Rusty Webb, the only 2 cars left on the lead lap there. And then you're going to have Johnny Thomas, first car lap down there. Currently have 5 cars out of the race at the moment. The 89 of Brent Miller, the 1 of Todd Smith, the 33 Jordan Teal, 48 of Nathan Velez, and the 26 of Chuck Sweeting.
Pace car is going to be in again. We're going to get another restart here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway for 3-Wide Racing's RaceKings Cup Series of their World 300. Cameron Rich already on the lap pedal. We're back green flag racing. As a good start by as well as 2nd place driver Peter Short, 3rd place Paul Ross, Luis Salmasso in 4th, and Kevin Finn rounding off the top 5.
That restart seemed a little bit more even between Cameron and Peter, but obviously Cameron still got the jump there and not letting him pull too far out away, but Paul trying to get by this 22 pretty quickly.
David Wilson doing a powerhouse move around the outside on Kevin Finn, trying to make that stick. He does make that stick. Meanwhile, battle for 2nd place seems like it's going to heat up because Paul Ross looked like he wanted to go underneath Peter Short. Right now, just could not make anything happen. Followed closely by Luis Salmasso. The 4 and the 18 are teammates. That's 3 OG drivers trying to gun down the Eisentech Enterprise drivers. Meanwhile, 59, that is Levi Zielinski. He hit the wall coming off turn number 2. Still has it going out there, though. He's battling right now with Johnny Thomas, not for position. Johnny Thomas trying to stay out front as long as he can to get his lucky dog, because he is stuck 1 lap down along with Richard Lafferty. Chad Brown and Tate Lytle going at it. Actually been the most actually battle for 2nd place. Paul Ross on the bottom of Peter Short.
Finally got that run.
See what Paul can do here, getting close to that left rear quarter panel, try to slow down a little momentum. Trying to utilize the fresher tires. Looks like Short's going to get the run on corner exit. Paul just cannot get the good run that he wants on the exit. That's where he wants to try to get the run, is try to beat Short. Ain't going to happen.
And, I mean, they're surprisingly still closing in on the 17 of Cameron Rich. I'm not quite sure what's going on with Rich, maybe in a little bit of tire conservation mode, but they're starting to reel him in.
It could have been. Cameron Rich had such a magnificent lead during the round of the green flag pit stops. But right now, this caution flag, this recent caution flag, has bunched up everybody all back together as the top, right now, top 5 drivers separated by only 0.7 of a second.
We're going to have a battle for the lead before too long here, I'd have to believe. If not, it's going to be a battle for second between these two drivers right here, Peter Short and Paul Ross. Nose to tail, and Paul definitely wanting to get by as quickly as possible to try and chase down that leader.
All trying to get that higher line going. He just cannot get the right run off. I tell you what, but Peter Short has caught Cameron Rich. That's his teammate. He's going to go to the inside right now. Peter may not have a choice but to try to go for the race lead here because he can't remain under Cameron all day long. Peter trying to fight for that top spot. He's officially going to lead a lap at the start-finish line.
I'll tell you what, though, as Cameron's going to fight back. That got really close in turn 1, but I really like what Cameron Rich is doing. You know, he's not going to stray away from what he was doing during those long green flag runs. Conserve your tires and let these guys run their race and maybe run out their tires a little bit quicker. This race will come back to Cameron Rich because he, he proved it in that last. He proved it in that last green flag run that he's got excellent tire saving.
Tell you what, no team orders whatsoever here, and Short's going after it. If anything happens between those Eisentek boys, popcorn position drivers, number 18 of Paul Ross, Cameron's still able to hang on for the top spot. Peter Short is currently in second.
I think the 17 did get the wall a little bit. Oh, the caution's out.
Caution. What's the yellow for? Thomas? No. Lafferty, maybe?
Look,
yep,
but
it was. Oh, it was Levi Zielinski. No, it wasn't. It was Chad Brown, 64. Turn 3.
Who was it, Tanner?
Chad Brown.
Oh, wow, yeah, just a little bit of contact with the 8 there. You'll see it going into 3 here. Oh, man.
Oh, man, I tell you what. That's why I said Levi, is because he hit the back bumper of the 8 car pretty hard, damaging Levi's car.
It almost looks like Brown just... Not quite sure about that one.
Like a just racing incident to me.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, pit road is open. And, everybody was going to do what Cameron did. And Cameron thought about faking it out, but they all followed.
And unfortunately, Johnny Thomas is going to get the lucky dog here, and Richard Daffney looks like he's going to be able to get the wave around. Unfortunately, he's going to have to stay out on these older tires, but was a relatively short run they just had there.
Yeah, Lafferty actually wouldn't have gotten the lucky dog if he was a lucky dog anyways, because he had incident contact points that iRacing scored him for that. Am I seeing that right? 2 tires? Oh my God, production track! You cannot do that to me. That's gotta be a glitch because
man, that's a
glitch in my
incredibly quick stop there.
Yeah, 0.7 pit stop for 4 tires. That's like yeah.
Well, I guess in a way,
Hendrick Power.
Yeah. I guess in a way, though, this is going to work out for the 2 Johnny Thomas Racing guys. Like I mentioned, Johnny's got the wave around, and Richard looks like he's going to be able to get waved around here before we get going green. So, in a way, they're going to be back on the lead lap. Get what you can, I guess.
It's not over yet. That's for sure. We got a little ways to go. So, I mean, Richard still has the time to try to get himself on the lead lap, and possibly, if he does stay out, which I do believe he did. I mean, he
Yes.
could catch a quick caution and come down and get 4 fresh tires, and he'll be okay. At least try to get some of that damage repaired too as well. But if we do not see a caution, that will hurt Lafferty in the long run. So let's go ahead and interview one of the drivers here tonight. Let's go ahead and interview Cameron Rich. And Cameron, hey man, got a copy there.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, you've been out towards the front. Looks like you've been pressured for the first time practically here tonight by your teammate Peter Short. How's the racing been out there for you? How's the car handling? It just seems like turn 2 seems like the hot spot as far as a loose race car.
Yeah, I kind of found that out myself just a minute ago. I drove it in a little bit too hard and about spun the thing with the car below me, so that was a little, well, I'll need to go buy me some underpants after the race. But it's been just, it seems like the easier you push the car, it rewards you in the long run. So you just got to keep the car under you and not slide the tires or anything, and it'll be there for you.
Most definitely here, Cameron. Now I have to ask you, since you're out towards the front, and I know you're fast, you know for sure here tonight, and you led over 100 laps here tonight. And we got the one to go single, but quick question: what's your biggest competition here tonight?
Well, I know Peter's fast. I know Paul's fast. Luis is fast. I think maybe they're all just saving their stuff because this is a long race, so that's kind of what I expected. But you know, anything can happen. We got over 90 laps to go or something, so 81. So I don't know how to count, but yeah, I think it'll start picking up here after this. After we go green.
All right, Cam, we would love to see your in-car channel as the green flag run goes on, but we'll let you go right now and good luck the rest of the race.
All right, thanks, guys.
I would love some uncensored radioactive.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, Cameron doing exactly what I thought he was doing, just pushing the car as easy as possible. And obviously, you saw how well that worked in the long run.
I'll give a 3-star to you there, Justin.
All right. Well, the green flag is going to be out, and Cameron Rich on the button as usual. Peter Short going to fall in behind there, and Paul Ross going to battle with the 4. Luis Almaso, his teammate, there for 3rd. 44 of Matt Hackathorn coming off pit road, and just like that, everybody's single file on the back straightaway. The back in the pack as usual. That's where most of the Hornets' nest is there. You see Chad Brown and Johnny Thomas just back on the lead lap racing there. That's for the 12th spot.
Oh man, Thomas almost got into the back of Chad Brown. And I'll tell you what, Thomas is not wasting time. He wants to skip himself back in the top 10. Meanwhile, Kevin Finn and Wade Lear are kind of going at it at the moment right now. That's the first side-by-side battle on the racetrack at the moment. Levi Zielinski's right behind these two cats.
And that got pretty close. And Wade Lear going to lose some spots there. The 14 of Kevin Finn going to go by, as well as the 59 of Levi Zielinski. Chad Brown going to follow as well.
This is actually the only side-by-side battle right now that I'm seeing.
Up front, everybody just kind of snaking around in a single file, so this is where the action's at.
Brown on the bottom, Lear on the higher line. Just ahead of him, you got Zielinski and Finn going at it for 9th place.
This is gonna dive it in there underneath Kevin Finn.
Tate Lytle getting pretty close to Salmaso for 4th. Excuse me. Nothing really happening there. Yeah. Paul Ross wanted to look underneath Peter Short.
Hey, what? There's a close 3-car battle back here between Wade Lear, Chad Brown, and Johnny Thomas. They've been going at it for the past about 2 laps, and looks like they're gonna power past the 64 of Chad Brown.
Let's keep an eye on that battle up back there. If anything happens up towards the front, I'll let you know. But yeah, I mean, it's closest side-by-side battle we do have on track. I know.
Fortunately, both Nick Miller and Brent Miller out of the race here tonight, so that leaves 20 cars left on the track and 15 left on the lead lap. Currently, Mike Stevens, James Duke, and Kyle Hanshaw a lap down. Kyle really never recovered from leading that one lap and then unfortunately having to serve a black flag. So Sam Close currently 2 laps down, as well as Matt Hackathorn.
Realistically, Justin, this is according to my math here, but I mean, you could probably tell me if I'm wrong. 2-stop race.
I'd have to believe so. Yeah, we went green lap 120. So you know what? Well, it might be a really tight 1-stop race. You know that we went green lap 120. Count some caution laps in there. You'd have to save a little bit. Well, maybe not. It'd be close though at the end to do a 1-stop. Yeah, that production truck just called it. That would be the main issue, is tires. Last pit stop would probably come around 160. That'd be your 40 laps, and then it'd be 40 laps to the end. So, just depends on how long you want to push it, I guess.
Tell you what, the race leader has not been able to escape the clutches of anybody. Realistically, yeah, they're not battling side by side, but the top 5 cars still separated by 0.8 of a second.
It's kind of surprising. We saw Cameron get out farther during the beginning of the race, or during the early portions of the race, but I think some of these guys kind of caught on to what Cameron was doing and not pushing it so hard. Some of these guys maybe have just kind of cooled it down a little bit with how hard they're pushing their tires and trying to conserve it a little bit there. I'm sure they learned the importance of that during the course of the runs here tonight.
Top 4 drivers have run very similar lap times.
Well, you saw that battle there. I thought Levi was about to make it 3 wide there. That's the battle currently for the 9th position. 8th position, excuse me. Kevin Finn going to get by Rusty Webb there. And I thought Levi was going to be able to get by Rusty as well, but currently still back in 10th.
Still might. I mean, he's looking towards bottom right now on Rusty Webb.
Tell you what, though, that high side just has all the momentum there.
Ooh, thought Ross was going to go for position on Peter Short there. Could not. Actually, the door actually closed on him on the entrance of turn number 3.
Kind of interesting to watch here. Nobody's really able to get by one another, and I don't think anyone's really willing to venture up too far at the moment from that bottom line.
No, I mean, it's funny because if you're going to try to make a pass on somebody, it's going to have to be coming around the outside row, which is going to be extremely tough to do, almost impossible to do, because the car ahead of you is probably going to guard that higher line.
Oh, the 03 of Wade Lear there, you saw into the wall. He's going to lose a lot of positions there. Well, realistically, just 1 at the moment. Chad Brown got by, Sam Close, and Mike Stevens currently a lap down.
Yeah, Sam Close is actually 2 laps down, but as of right now, this is not in favor of Lafferty's favor, this long range like run.
And real quick, just to give you an idea of how long this race is, we are on currently lap 133. This is usually when a lot of the races in the regular season would end, and obviously we still have a good 70 laps to go, so it's quite the long night, but it's slowly coming to a close here. And you saw there, Levi Zielinski was finally able to get by Rusty Webb for 9th. Yeah, Johnny Thomas following.
Johnny's trying to get back up there, man. I tell you what, this is where Johnny wants to be. I mean, right now, finishing is what's mattering right now for Johnny.
Yeah. One thing, too, he got that big break with that caution. So, he's trying to maximize every position and probably hoping for another caution to kind of equalize the field and get back up there with the track position he has now.
I'd say don't pit as early as he did.
No.
But I mean, right now he's kind of in a shot to where he could probably gain some of that track position if he pits at the right time.
I think, Tanner, at this point, people are going to try and go for that one-stop strategy. Or at least I would, you know, lap 160 and then kind of go to it from the end. But I'll have to see if, you know, the importance of tires plays into everybody's strategy here.
Nothing happening up towards the front. There's a little battle. Oh, we got trouble.
I was going to say,
yeah,
Paul Ross through the grass. I was going to say he was getting extremely loose, and Luis Salmaso not going to be able to capitalize. Yeah, he takes a little safari adventure off 4. There you go.
Paul, I know you were trying to probably get by Peter Short as best you can, but passing the grass was not the option.
No. That's what I saw loose, and then a little ride to the grass there.
Actually...
Yeah, thankfully he can't tear up a splitter in iRacing.
And actually, that pass in the grass there was not technically a pass.
No.
Nonetheless, Paul still remains in 3rd place. Luis kind of gave him a little bit of a break, too, as well.
I think that's Levi Zielinski into the wall up there a little bit.
Uh-oh.
He's been flirting with that, with the edge there. He's hit it a couple times tonight. Yeah, he got it right there.
He got passed by Johnny Thomas. Johnny's back up there in 9th now.
Yeah. Now, Johnny's passing some cars, but we noted earlier that it seemed like he was kind of abusing his stuff maybe a little bit because he started to fall off a little bit quicker than a lot of the other guys we've seen here tonight. Maybe he's, or at least I hope that he's kind of learned a little bit and cooled it down just a little bit, but we'll have to see as we get later into the run.
Another driver that's kind of making moves up through the field is Sam Close, but the problem is Sam's 2 laps down, and if only he wished he was on the lead lap, he would technically be in 10th by passing Levi, but obviously right now that's not for position.
Well, Tanner, you picked Chuck Sweeting. He unfortunately got involved in a wreck on lap 2. I picked Sam, and he had a multitude of issues a little bit earlier, so I think we put a little bit of a curse on those 2 guys as Levi gets into the wall again off 2. Just a little scrape this time.
Yeah, it's gonna be big. I tell you what, he's knocked the fenders off that 59 car, man.
Yeah.
But it's still rolling. But eventually, the more he flirts with that, we got the Johnny Thomas going after Richard Hines. Oh, Levi!
Man, I'll tell you what, he's hit the wall a bunch tonight, and he's still trying to hang on to it. But surprisingly, Tanner, that car still looks pretty good.
Looks good, but I tell you what, you ain't going anywhere with it.
Yeah. Yeah, the grass is definitely not the way to go.
By the way, I was just going to hop on before, just as Thomas is going through Zielinski was going through the grass, Thomas was going for position on Richard Hines. That was a battle for 8th place. Thomas successfully passes Hines.
How about a shout out for Richard Hines? Haven't gotten to talk a whole lot about him this year, and currently sitting with a top 10 at the moment. Again, we still have a long ways to go, but good showing here from Richard Hines tonight, currently in 9th.
Yeah, the American Cancer Society Ford started 9th tonight, and he's currently in 9th. So he's actually been in the top 10 practically the entire night. We just haven't talked about him all so much. He's just been very, very quiet.
You know, sometimes quiet is good. As long as you're, you know, consistent running in the top 10, you can be as quiet as you want.
Oh, man, Paul got a little loose off turn number 2, just a little bit.
How many times have we said that here tonight? Loose off turn 2.
Man, I don't know, but it's fun watching these guys do it up here in the booth. But I don't.
Absolutely.
If I was a driver, I'm sure I'd be shaking my fist at the car. But the thing is that you're on a fixed setup, so you know you're driving the same setup. You just got to try to figure out the race car and how, you know, when to get in the gas, when to get out of the gas, when to, you know, do a lot of things.
Be interesting to see how many guys have some sore arms tomorrow with, you know, having to whip the wheel back to the right a little bit and wheel it off turn 2.
I've had sore arms before. I think the worst I've ever had sore arms did not come from this race, though. It actually came from Road America one time. There's a long, like 30 it was like 35. It was like a 30 to 35 lap race, and I was already pooped out by a halfway point. The way I was, because I was driving the car so hard, trying to keep up with other drivers. It was working, but it was fatiguing me really quickly.
I think I only had that once, and I think it was my first 3-wide race at Bristol. I was definitely hurting the next morning, constantly turning there and trying to fight the wheel as well. Well, we're closing in on 50 laps to go here, Tanner. We're closing in on the end of this race, and I have to believe closing in on green flag pit stops, possibly in the next 15 laps here.
50 laps to go. Yeah. I tell you what, if these guys pit, I'd say do not short pit it, because you're not going to make it to the end, in my opinion.
No. Well, I'd have to believe everyone. Obviously, some people might try and do it differently, maybe hope for caution, pit a little bit earlier, but I'd have to believe 160 is going to be the mark.
I think it is. You just want to try to get at least under 40 laps to go.
Yeah. At least want to make it to the end, I'd have to believe.
If they can go another 13 more laps, I think they'll be okay. Should be able to do it. That should.
Hey, what? Everyone's just kind of strung out at the moment. Not a whole lot of side-by-side racing. Closest battle at the moment between Tate Lytle and David Wilson was Richard Lafferty getting by Mike Stevens, but Mike is currently a lap down. So,
well, if you guys are enjoying this race here tonight for the World 300 of 3Y Racing's Race King Cup Series, be sure to join us next week, Monday, July 2nd, 2018, at the Kentucky Speedway for 133 laps there. That's going to be a good race.
Yeah.
And then the following week is going to be at the Michigan International Speedway. So a couple good tracks coming up for the Race King Cup Series drivers. I'm certainly going to be enjoying it up here in the booth for sure. It's going to whale a couple races.
And one thing to note, Tanner, we're only 5 races away from the start of the playoffs. So gives you an idea of how quick the season has gone by.
Exactly. I keep looking at the schedule for the Race Kings Cup Series, man. In my opinion, it is the best schedule I've ever seen as far as the Cup Series is concerned. I know, I think we go to Daytona twice or whatever, but that's okay. But I love the lineup of this schedule. It's really, I think it's awesome.
Yes. Well, that's. I thought they had that listed. The second Daytona race being the 2007 version of it.
I think it is.
That's gonna be really interesting. I know that track is stupidly bumpy, so that's gonna be quite the handful. That's not going to be your normal super speedway race. That's going to be just a struggle to hang on to those cars with how bumpy that track is. Going to be quite the show. You mentioned Kentucky next week. That's a track with a lot of bumps on it. That's going to be a handful for a lot of these guys, so looking forward to it.
Yeah, and the closest battle is on screen.
Between Paul Ross and Luis Almaso. Paul going to get close to the wall there. I don't think he lost too much momentum.
Yeah, sorry, folks. We haven't been talking about the drivers too much and maybe last like 2 laps. That's because everybody's kind of riding their own race at the moment. Everybody's kind of fanned out just a little bit. Closest battle is on screen. That's Ross and Luis Almaso. And right behind these two cats is practically a similar battle between Tate Lytle and Kevin Finn back there. There's Lytle. Lytle a little loose off turn number 4.
Well, I'm not sure. We see Christopher Munger down pit road.
Make it to the end.
Yeah. Not sure if he was on the lead lap or not. Didn't quite catch that.
He just went a lap down. He's now one lap down now.
We see Kyle Hanshaw on pit road as well, so. Lap 153, so yeah. They're obviously not going to be able to make it to the end without some heavy fuel saving.
The wave around strategy of Richard Lafferty did not pay off because he's a lap down, but the problem is now for him, he actually, if the caution should come out, he should not hit the wall, make car contact, or hit the grass because that would take away his chances on being the lucky dog. So if caution comes out, he would be the lucky dog.
And he's got quite a bit of damage on that car, but I still don't blame that strategy of staying out. Obviously, that was kind of his only move, and, you know, he was lucky to be able to take that wave around, but obviously a caution didn't fall his way and was stuck out there on about 10 lap old tires, so put him a lap down again.
Tate Lytle and David Wilson. Almost looked like Kevin Finn for a split second, but it wasn't. This would be the closest battle. Actually, they're not really battling. It's just the closest drivers that could possibly turn into a battle.
Oh, that cool camera angle there, and just want to remind you again, cameras tonight, as always, provided by TrackCams for Gourmet. You can find more information and download it pack at www.trackcams22.com or facebook.com/trackcams. So this is going to be interesting to see. The 55 Christopher Munger there on fresher tires. Going to work his way through this pack there. Going to get by David Wilson. And going to blow by the 08 of Tate Lytle there. Well, not quite, actually. Yeah, now he will.
All right, Justin. Here's the kicker. We're about 3 laps away from lap 160, which marks 4 to go. The race leaders has just made 40 laps, including caution flags. Including the final 2 caution flag laps. So, granted, it's 38 laps. When do you make your pit stop? And if so, should you really try to make sure you can make it to the end?
I would absolutely. Your second question there, absolutely make sure you can get it to the end, because this is see Matt Hackthorne on pit road. But if another caution, as long as another caution does not fall, this is going to be it. This is going to be your final stop. You're going to be able to make it to the end. So make sure you get it to the end. And I'm still holding strong to 160 is probably going to be when we see everybody on pit road. Some guys may try and stay out a little bit longer, but you know, you're not going to be able to go much longer than that, I'd have to assume.
Yeah, exactly. With that being said, just you know, you never know what's going to happen, because just as we got somebody hitting pit road. That's Salmasso. Salmasso's in.
Yep.
Wilson's
and
in.
Dave Wilson.
Here we go.
All right. 160. Leaders should be coming down before too long. And you definitely do not want to make a mistake. Oh, Cameron Rich kind of hit the wall there into 3. Just capped it a little bit, but this is your money stop. Don't make a mistake. Here comes Cameron Rich down pit road.
Rich is hitting the pits. Peter Short's hitting the pits.
Cannot make a mistake.
This is your money pit stop, folks.
Man. Peter Short just about lost it. I think the camera caught that, but just about lost it there entering pit road. Full lockup.
Many drivers hitting pit road. Kevin Finn, Johnny Tomish, Richard Hines, all hitting pit road. Chad Brown has stayed out. Levi Zielinski has stayed out.
And obviously you can't stay out for too long here. We know the fuel numbers. I think the longest we saw in practice was about 44 laps. So factor in those caution laps. You're going to have to come in before too long.
Rich is done. Peter Short's done.
All right, so here comes Chad Brown and Levi Zielinski. So everybody has cycled around now, at least on the lead lap. And that's kind of what I expected. Everybody kind of at once coming down pit road, and that's what we saw there. With the exception, of course, of Chad Brown and Levi Zielinski.
Brown and Zielinski in the pits right now. Brown's made it to his pit box safely. So has Zielinski. But it looks like the race lead's going to cycle out to Cameron Rich and Peter Short once again.
So, I mean, as long as another caution doesn't come out, I think Cameron Rich kind of has this one in the bag. We've seen how well he's been able to save the tires, and I don't really think anybody else has anything for him unless Peter Short finds something that he's been hiding from us.
Penalty to Levi Zielinski. Too fast on pit road.
Benson cannot make a mistake, and obviously this is probably going to be a race ender.
And he might receive another penalty because he got right side tires onto the racetrack.
We'll see how aggressive iRacing is with that one.
Rusty Webb is another driver that received a pit road speeding penalty.
Riding on board there with Richard Lafferty. I think he was able to get back. Not sure how he worked his strategy. He was able to get back on the lead lap there, though. Currently in front of team owner Johnny Thomas, so I think he worked his strategy a little bit different and was able to get that lap back, and currently with the top 10. Well, that would explain it. He has not gone down pit road. Thank you, production truck.
All right, so I do believe, according to my calculations, everybody can make it. The exception of Richard Lafferty. Lafferty's in 9th. Munger's in 12th. And Munger ain't going to be able to make it to the end. Luis Massimo gained some pretty good significant spots on the track here. He's up to 3rd place. Tate Lytle is in 4th. Paul Ross had a slower pit time than anybody within the top 5, and he's in 5th.
So 35 laps to go. Obviously, the one thing that's going to turn this whole race upside down will be the yellow. But as you mentioned, everybody can make it to the end, with the exception of Richard Lafferty and Christopher Munger. That's also kind of spread everybody out.
Oh man, who was in the wall off of turn number 2 there? That was around Peter Short. Was that yeah, that was the number 63 of Stevens.
Stevens just kind of limping it around, trying to get to the finish here. It's been a hard night for Mike Stevens, unfortunately. Not sure. Oh, never mind. So still 12 cars currently on the lead lap. Wade Lear, Levi Zielinski, Rusty Webb, and James Duke, all 1 lap down. Then Mike Stevens, same close. Matt Hackathorn and Kyle Hanshaw, 2 laps down. And then you have Nick Miller, Brent Miller, Todd Smith, Jordan Teal, Nathan Vlez, and Chuck Sweeting out of the race here with 32 laps to go.
Very clean race here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway amongst all these drivers. Only seen like, what was it, 3 cautions here tonight?
Yes. So I think we've only really had one big wreck there, and unfortunately it involved the 26 of Chuck Sweeting along with a number of cars. There on camera, Kevin Finn kind of shortcut the dog leg a little bit.
Kind of looking at the timing and scoring as well. Thanks, production truck, for pointing it out as well. But Peter Short has gained a little bit on Cameron Rich, only 1 second behind Rich. So Peter, maybe he's figured something out to try to gain on the race leader of Cameron, to try to upset him. So far, Cameron Rich has practically pulled off a Martin Truex Jr. kind of day here at Charlotte. If anybody remembers Truex dominating the Coca-Cola 600, I think a couple of years ago.
Oh, 2016, who can forget that one? But I wonder if maybe Cam caught a couple lap cars there. I don't know if maybe that played a factor, or like you mentioned, maybe Peter kind of... Okay.
Either Cam saving tires, or traffic's caught him, or...
We definitely know Cam's saving tires. He's been doing that all race, and it's been working out for him. But Peter may be starting to push it just a little bit. Under 30 laps to go. Obviously still a long ways to go, but kind of have to use what you have now, I feel like, at this point. Mainly to cut that gap.
17 of Rich has got to catch Hanshaw. Then there's big old clean air track, you know, a clean way for a long time for Rich. Difference between Peter Short and Cameron Rich, 0.7 of a second. Kind of keep an eye on the top two drivers. Nobody is really battling within the top 10. At the start-finish line now. Let's see who has a faster lap time amongst the top two.
Replay of Mike Stevens and Richard Lafferty there. That is for position, by the way.
Oh, that was?
That was for 16th. Both those drivers 2 laps down.
Sorry, I'm getting a little off topic here. Nonetheless, up towards the front, Rich was faster than Short. Paul's actually a mess right now. Paul's actually around lap cars here. Or excuse me, not Paul, but Tate Lytle.
Got Christopher Munger in front of him, Levi Zielinski behind him, and just behind Levi is Paul Ross trying to close that gap down. Looks like it's going to be the closest battle, at least for cars on the lead lap. You got Richard Lafferty and James Duke going at it there for 15th. Yep, 2 laps down those guys are.
Man, Lytle, man, fishtailed it last time off turn 4. Right here, here comes Paul Ross. He's gunning down Lytle. If there's going to be any kind of battles we're going to see before the end of the race, this is going to be the one. Ross was just a 10th. Actually, they're both practically running the same lap times. Ross is trying to gain a little bit on Lytle, and if these two drivers do battle, it'll be a battle for 4th.
He's definitely got some speed still underneath that 18 machine, and
oh, Lytle,
man,
and both cars,
yeah.
Man. Ross is going to the bottom. Oh, ever so close, ever so fast.
I have a feeling you're going to want to watch this momentum that the 18 is going to have down the front straightaway. Well, no, not quite. Tate, I think, is being a little defensive there. But Paul going to try and get the nose underneath Tate here, and that's going to be extremely close.
Paul gets into the corner just a little bit harder, but he's making it stick on entrance like that, which is a good thing, but he cannot get the run on corner exit. Let's see what Paul can do here and not do anything with him. Tate's still running his line, so is Paul. Paul knows he's faster. It's just a matter of...
Oh my goodness, the 63 of Mike Stevens.
That scared me. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm up here in the booth.
I saw that car shoot up in the front of that car, shoot up in the air. He, yeah, check this out. Talk about getting some air time with those front wheels. Got loose down the straightaway. Happens from time to time. Whoa. Oh my goodness.
Man, praise iRacing for the grass effects, man.
Been a rough night for Mike Stevens, unfortunately. Tough, long night.
Paul has yet to get by Tate Lytle since we were under replay. Nothing happened between the two drivers yet. Rich has pulled away from Peter Short. Battle heating up for the 4th spot. 20 laps to go in Charlotte.
Oh, and Paul's got in the wall.
So is Levi. Levi's in the grass. Levi saves it.
And that's going to lose a bunch of time to Tate Lytle there. Paul will. But I definitely feel like he still has the speed. See if he can't catch back up to Tate. Luis Samasso getting by a lap car there. It was 46 of Kyle Hanshaw. And Cameron Rich kind of, well, just got past the 44 of Matt Hackathorn and just has Richard Lafferty to get past. And then he has some clear sailing in front.
James Duke in pit row with some severe damage, and he's most likely out of this race with that heavy damage and can be able to continue. He's out 6 laps down. He's out of here. To the garage you go, according to officials, according to the rulebook as well. All right, we are clocking it down to it here, Justin, and oh man, Tate Lytle loose again, but he's going by lap traffic, not helping Tate out too much. It might help out Paul, but Paul has yet to be able to gain that time back. Peter Short has increased his race lead to about 1.5 seconds over Peter Short. Luis Dalmasso in third. Excuse me, Cameron Rich. Thanks for. Oh my gosh!
I didn't know if I heard that one again. Right,
Cameron pulling away. Actually, I take that back. Short's actually gained it a little bit back now, but it's still a little bit over 1 second. Cameron Rich has the race lead over Peter Short. Luis Dalmasso currently in third spot. Tate Lytle fourth. Paul Ross rounding out the top 5. Actually, everybody's kind of calm, cool, and collective. 10 cars remaining on the lead lap with Chad Brown as last car on the lead lap, 26 seconds behind.
I saw Cameron Rich with the wheel input there off turn 2.
Think he's driving it hard now?
Yeah. 15 laps to go, and your teammate's starting to put a little pressure on you. He's starting to close that gap a little bit. It's time to get up on the wheel just a tad more.
Look what Peter ran here. Peter ran a 31.8. Cameron Rich, 31.6.
So he's still got some speed in that car, but...
Well, traffic ain't helping Peter whatsoever.
Think about it, though. Cameron had to deal with the same traffic, and that might have been what kind of helped Peter catch up a little bit.
Cameron's got a little bit of leeway until the next car. So does Peter. To the line right now on this lap, 31.6 again for Cameron, and 31.7 for Peter. So Cameron, I do believe, has the better car than what Peter does by at least a tenth, and lap times do show right now. And this time by it was without traffic. Peter short. Oh man, he became short to the wall.
Yeah. And Hackthorn gonna get the wall just a little bit there, and turn 2 has been vicious tonight for a lot of these guys, but especially Peter Short. Woo! Yeah.
Peter's doing everything he can to gun down Cameron, but Cameron just acting like, man, I got the best car here. I'm gonna walk away with this thing here, and no driver's gonna stop me. And so far, not really any driver has challenged Cameron here tonight, because Peter is actually the only one that I've seen that has really tried going side by side and tried going for the race lead, just could not make a pass on it. By the way, Paul has not been able to gun down Tate Lytle for fourth. So that's going to remain the same. Everybody within the top 10 is not battling for position. As Cameron Rich is coming down. He's on the back straightaway right now. He's got 11 laps to go. Or 12 laps to go. Coming to 11 laps to go.
And the gap between Cameron and Peter has increased back to 2.5 seconds. So either Peter kind of wore the last remaining good out of those tires, or Cameron is just on it tonight. We know he's been on it, but
so far there's no stopping Cameron, that's for sure. Nobody's been able to challenge that number 17 Boeing Ford as he's up towards the front up there. And, you know, Cameron, he can continue to pile on these wins, man. It's just going to go to show that when it comes to playoff time, man, he's going to be the one to beat.
It's a good thing that Carlos, the producer, is in the production truck this time for this year. not going to be a factor come Homestead, Miami, for Cameron. Oh man, that was about 2 years ago when I think Cameron was really the guy to beat, and oh, did it? Okay.
Are we talking about Carlos wrecking somebody or Carlos contending for the championship?
Carlos when he unfortunately got Cameron Rich by accident back in 2016. I like to poke fun.
All right, hold on. Okay, so everybody can hear me. All right. Okay, look. All right, so I messed up. Okay, so I took Cameron out. All right, but same thing happened last year, and it wasn't my fault. I didn't do anything last year. But 2 years ago, that was my fault. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go mute myself again.
Hey, Carlos.
Yo, what's
Kentucky.
Up?
I love Carlos.
Yeah. All right. Cameron Rich coming it down. He's got 8 laps to go. He's coming off turn number 2. A great run for him. Looking through the top 10, if there's any kind of battle that might shape up, is going to be between Tate Lytle and Luis Salmaso. That gap has closed. That would be a battle for third.
Cameron Rich starting to blink out a little bit. Just a few little blips here and there. Looks like it's stabled out.
Yeah. You know, his quality ping is actually dropping right now. It's down to an 88. I'll keep an eye on it here. That's not good. He's still currently in the orange, but oh man, I've seen crazy things happen on the sim before, but I mean, blinking out on a couple laps to go. All right, it's stabilized.
At least he's been having issues there, but he's not giving up driving quite yet. 6 laps to go, and he was still wheeling it off 4 there.
Battle for third place is on because Tate Lytle has caught Luis Salmaso.
Oh, and the caution is out.
Caution is out,
and this will not be the end of the race. We have 6 laps to go. It's probably going to be a green-white checker here to end this race.
What's the yellow for?
I believe Mike Stevens pounded the wall on the back straight.
I'm hearing Stevens.
Wow. Let's go back a little farther than that. Yeah, let's. Oh, he was loose off 2 once again, but.
Oh man, he annihilated the inside wall and it ricocheted him into the racetrack, and he tried getting it off the racetrack, but too late.
Wow.
Oh.
That's the second time I believe tonight where he just kind of thought he had it and.
And folks.
Wow.
This changes
everything. Cameron Rich thought he had this race won. Well, that's
he still might. You never know, but I mean,
I think at this point Peter may have something. You can't hold back on this restart. So I think you have to pit, and this is going to be the money stop. No mistakes.
If there's going to be any kind of gamble, take it now and get a bunch of people to go with you, because realistically, the way it's calmed down, we might get 2 laps to go. Everybody's staying out. There is drivers pitting. One of them is actually Lytle. He's the Lone Ranger.
We've seen quick cautions here tonight. That caution came out with 6 laps to go. This race is not over. We're coming to 4 to go.
Man, I would have tried to pit, at least get a couple of these people to pit, and then try to freight train them. Oh, but that is such a tough call, though. 10 cars on a lead lap, though.
We'd have to get 2 to go, actually, this time, I think, because we don't do 1-lap shootouts here in 3 wide.
That's right. You need to 1 to go signal this time by.
I don't think we're gonna get it.
You're not gonna get it. But here's the reason why. Wade Lear just took the lucky dog. When he comes back around to try to catch up to the field, pit road still has to open for him yet.
Yeah.
So I do think the race would be over. Unless it's a 1-lap shootout, but the league doesn't.
No, we do not do 1-lap shootouts. So.
Ooh.
Well, we thought this changed everything, but I think we were, yeah.
I thought it would. I mean, it definitely would have. Right now, pit road is open for lapped cars. We will. I'm sorry, but this race is over.
Yep.
Yeah, this race is
Man.
over. Pace car lights have not turned off, so
I wanted so badly to see those lights go off, but that
Yeah,
will not
I
be the
do, too.
case.
because I would be curious to see what Tate Lytle could do on fresh tires in like 2 laps.
I'd be curious to see what Peter Short had for this 17 car, but he's been holding back, I feel, all night, driving it easy. I think he would have had a challenge on his hands, but yeah, that would be why nobody went down pit road, obviously.
Yeah, here's the thing: the Lucky Dogs extends the cautions.
Yeah, didn't
Because,
account for that one.
Yeah, because iRacing still has to give the chance for the lap cars or the guy who took the Lucky Dog for him to pit. But obviously, with this being said, this race is over, and Cameron's just got to make it 2 more times around this joint. How about Johnny Thomas, 7th place?
Covered nicely from being stuck a lap down there. Got that lucky caution and got back on the lead lap.
I kind of want to do something different, and with production truck's permission, let's since we will be talking to the top 3. Let's talk to Johnny Thomas on that comeback. Let's bring him up here. Where's Johnny? I got him. Johnny Thomas in the booth here. You got a copy?
I got you, Tanner. What's happening?
Hey man, we wanted to throw you an interview here before before we interview the top 3 drivers. But hey man, I want to say what a hell of a comeback to finish 7th place and coming from a lap down, getting a lucky dog. Tell me about your day overall, man. How is it as a driver?
It was a rough one. I think this was one of the roughest races we've had in a long time. The setup was a little bit tricky, but I mean, everybody has that setup, so it wasn't just me dealing with that. But man, I was trying to short pit there, hoping that we'd get some longer green flag runs, and we got bit, put me down a lap, and I've just been trying to. I've kind of gotten lucky as well. I got the lucky dog there in that incident with I think Chad and Richard. So once we got the lucky dog, I came back through here and should have finished 8th, but Tate pitted, so I got picked up 1 spot. But it was a tough run. I think everybody's gonna say how hard they had to race tonight, and it wasn't really racing the cars around you; it was racing the setup.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to go back to the very first pit stop of the night under green flag conditions there, Johnny. You were one of the very early go-getters, one of the earliest guys to pit under green flag pit stops. Do you think you may have pitted just a little too early that kind of put you behind the 8 ball a little bit, or was that just by design?
No, that was by design. I figured my goal was to get out in front and get the lead for those 5 or 6 laps and maybe get a caution, because then those guys would have to pit. Because tires mattered so much. But really, once we cycled through, I kind of fell back to where I was at anyway. So it was kind of a positive, negative gain. So it didn't really matter. I just got bit there when that caution came out.
All right, quick question for a quick answer. Next week we're going to Kentucky Speedway. How do you feel about your chances at Kentucky next week?
I think I can get a top 5 here, but Eisentek's pretty strong, so I don't know about a win.
All right, you heard the folks. That's Johnny Thomas with a great comeback. Johnny, thanks for coming to talk with us, and congratulations on the 7th place and the comeback, and we'll see you in Kentucky.
Thanks, Tanner. Have a good one.
All right, and now Cameron Rich is coming around turn number 4 here right now with the pace car, as the race officials have thrown the extended yellow to end the race under caution, and it is going to be Cameron Rich winning the World 300 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway for the RaceKings Cup Series. Congratulations to Cameron. Wow. And you got Peter Short in 2nd and Luis Salmaso in 3rd.
Dominating performance by Cameron. 184 out of the 200 laps led here tonight.
All right, so let's pull up a couple drivers here. One of those drivers, let's go from 3rd, 2nd to 1st. I'll do Luis Salmaso here. Let's pull him up. He's for 3OG Racing. And Luis, do you got a copy?
I got a copy, bud.
Luis, it's been a long race for you, man, but you still finished in the top 3. You were getting gunned down there towards the end by Tate Lytle before the caution came out. Let's just say if the caution had not come out, do you think you would have been able to hold off Tate?
Yeah, I was good. I was controlling the distance. I knew that he was faster by think 1 or 2 laps he had better tires, and I was just making sure that the car was going the right way and not doing anything stupid. So it was just knowing that he was taking like 1, 2 tenths every couple of laps. So once it got to 5 tenths, we were just even it out. So not to say that he couldn't pass me, but he would have needed something extraordinary happening.
And Luis, let's kind of talk about the entire race here for a little bit. It's been a long race. You started 11th here tonight, and you were in the top 10 the entire race. First off, how was your race here tonight? And did you 3OG drivers as a team discuss or have anything for them Eisentech guys?
It was hard to say because for some reason the setup that we had this week, I think unanimously was one of the worst setups to drive, like in terms of car reactions that we had all season long. So it was a tight setup and then a loose setup, but not that loose setup that you're loose everywhere. The car would not turn, and then all of a sudden you would break loose because the tires were just worn out. So it was a really, really, really bad car to drive, and I think you saw that during the race. That was really hard to pass because once you were single file, for you to get outside of the line and be able to hold it on a different line, it was really hard. So the strategy was survive, make sure that you don't make a mistake, make sure that the car is not pinched against the wall, that you don't lose speed, because we know Charlotte's a pretty aero track, so you cannot lose a lot of your aero package if you want to be competitive. And 200 laps, we wanted to be alive by the final 50. So once the caution started happening after the middle of the race, we were discussing fuel strategy, pit strategy, when we were going to stop. But then once we went green with less than 80 to go, it was just who was going to stop when. And I made the call to go 1 lap before everybody, knowing that I was going to be a little bit of a disadvantage with the older tires. But it worked. So that was the plan. Not really sure what they were doing up front to be able to pull away from us. But we know they're fast. They're fast pretty much everywhere. Sometimes we can fight. Sometimes we just need to fight and make sure that we finish. So today was one of those days.
And Luis, you've been pretty good on the overall. You're pretty good on the bigger tracks this season, as far as a 1.5 miles or bigger. Next week we're going to another 1.5 miles racetrack, which is the Kentucky Speedway. How do you feel about your chances in Kentucky?
Not one of my favorite tracks. It's one of those places that you like ask me how it is to drive at Kentucky. I don't have a feel for the track. It's one of those, never had really good results. So to me, I just want to finish. If I can finish inside of the top 10 next race, I'll be happy. So it's one of those that you circle on your calendar saying, this one's going to be a headache. Please just let everything go smoothly and no problem. So that's what I'm looking for.
All right, Luis. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk with us this evening. Congratulations on a hard-fought third-place finish here tonight, and we will see you in Kentucky next week.
Thanks, guys. Just give a big shout-out to everybody at 3OG for giving me the ride this year. Big shout-out to everybody at WCR Sim Engineering, working on the open setups for the races every week, and the guys from Jaws Graphics that paint the cars. So thanks, everybody. Thank you, guys, for the broadcast, everybody at the league that put the show together, and we'll see you guys next race.
That's Luis Salmasso, folks, finishing in the 3rd position here tonight at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And Justin Kolb, I believe you caught up with 2nd place driver Peter Short.
Yes, sir. And Peter Short, you got a copy?
Yeah, 10-4.
Well, it seems like once again, tough track tonight, and your teammate there, Cam and Rich, was just kind of out front most of the race, almost unbeatable. But talk us through your race here tonight.
Yeah, I had a not so great qualifying. Started back in 16th, and slowly worked my way towards the front. And it was fun picking off cars, and I had some really good pit stops early on, and was able to get my way through the field there. But it was really tough to pass. I think Cam got lucky with the clean air. Clean air was king tonight. Definitely, if you came up behind a car, you'd lose about 2 tenths. So I think definitely Cam, he was able to use that clean air to his advantage and save his right front, because we shared the the tire wear on the right front, and he was quite a bit better than I was on that second to last run. But all in all, just kind of a good night for us. It's been a crazy past 3 days for me. On Saturday, I ran the 24 Hours of Le Mans with the Major Series, finished third in that. Last night I won a race in an Indy car at Indianapolis Road Course, and today second here. So I finished 3-1-2 in my past 3 days, and but tonight was a lot of fun. Track conditions were really, really tough, and it made for quite a bit of fun behind the wheel.
Quite a lot of racing this week, and I must ask, who was harder to race, or I guess which was harder to race, Cameron there, your teammate, or Turn 2? Because it seemed like you and Turn 2 had quite the battle all race.
Yeah, I'm trying to give it everything. At a certain point, I felt like I had a big enough gap of the cars behind me, and I was just trying everything I could. I knew I could save the car if I got a little bit loose, and if I lost that time, it wouldn't hurt me too bad. Just trying to keep the pressure on Cameron and hope that maybe he would hit the wall or get loose or do something, but wasn't quite able to put enough pressure on him. He ran a flawless race.
And we move on from 1.5 mile racetrack to another Kentucky Speedway. What's the outlook for that bumpy 1.5 miles?
Kentucky. I hate Kentucky. I absolutely hate that track. It is I don't find it any fun to drive. So, trying to survive. I think I wrecked out there last year, so hopefully I can do a little bit better this year and actually survive the race and keep the number 22 Mike's Hard Lemonade forward on the track, and hopefully might come out with another top 5.
All right. Well, before we let you go, I always want to give you a chance to thank the sponsors, thank the team, and anybody else you need to thank.
Yeah, I want to start with thanking Drew. Eisentek's awesome. Want to thank Eric, Mickey, Kurt Crum, and Marcus. I can't pronounce his last name. Who were my teammates for the 24 Hours of Le Mans. We did 3,600 miles, which was pretty awesome. And thanks for Corey. He wasn't here tonight, but he's always awesome. And thank you guys for the broadcast.
All right, that's Peter Short, who comes away with another second place finish here tonight. Congratulations, Peter.
Thank you.
I'm down in Victory Lane with the man who dominated a race today, and I tell you what, Cameron, you just pulled off a little bit of a Martin Truex Jr. Same thing what he did a couple of years ago. And Cameron, tell me about your race, bub. Actually, kind of did, but those last closing moments of the race looked like Peter was kind of gaining on you a little bit. What was going through your thought at the time?
Well, I figured out pretty early on that it's all going to be about tire saving and tire conservation and all that good stuff. So what I really tried to do from the beginning of the race was to run a pace and let everybody behind me either match that pace or challenge me, and it seemed to work most of the time. It was kind of like baiting people into using their tires up a little bit, but Peter kind of didn't take it, so he was trying to attack me, and that was actually pretty cool. It was pretty fun. But yeah, I didn't do much practice before. Actually, I didn't do any practice for the race because I wasn't here, so I was unable to. But it was a really interesting setup to drive because it was like push loose sometimes, and it was loose push, if that's a thing sometimes. But it definitely kept you on your feet.
Most definitely did, indeed. It kept me on the feet too, because everybody's losing off of turn number 2, and a couple times did you kind of kiss the wall a couple times there tonight? At least it looked like it did, but obviously only you would know.
I got pretty close off 2 and off 4 a couple times, just because you get that not necessarily tight, but like the car just slides a little bit, and I don't know, it probably looked cool.
All right, Cameron. Now you mark off I think it's your 5th win of the season. Say it next week, Kentucky Speedway. Obviously, you're fast no matter where you go, and I know that too for sure. I've raced with you before. Kentucky, man, how are you going to attack Kentucky, and how do you feel about your chances there?
Well, honestly, Tanner, I hate that track with a burning passion. I wish it would fill with water and put some fish in it. We can go fishing. But but I'll have to learn how to drive it. You know, I've never been good there in anything. I'd probably go there as a fan and suck somehow, but I just, you know, gotta take what you get, and you know, it's not always gonna be perfect, but you just gotta learn.
I wonder how that would work. But yeah, I totally agree with you, Cameron, with the exception on hating the racetrack, because I actually like that track. But Cameron, thanks for coming and taking the time to talk with us this evening. Congratulations on the win of the World 300, and we will see you at Kentucky in a week.
All right, awesome. Thanks, guys.
That's Cameron Rich, folks, winning the race here tonight at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Justin, final thoughts before we get to the finish results and thank sponsors.
Well, you know, the usual suspects up front, Eisentech Enterprises with Cameron Rich once again taking the checkered flag. Peter Short coming second. I'm sure they'll flip-flop a few times this year, as they usually do. But, you know, this track drove, it seemed like, as I expected, loose, and a lot of guys fighting off 2 and 4, and some guys getting into the wall. But the one thing that surprised me the most, I feel, is we finally got that high side working here this season. We haven't seen that a whole lot, and I haven't seen that a whole lot at Charlotte, or really any track, but finally got that working, and I was really happy to see that.
It worked in the truck race and certainly worked here in the cup race. Indeed, the high side was king on the longer run. But let's go through the finished results here. Cameron Rich is going to be your race winner here tonight. Peter Short finishes in second. Luis Salmaso finishes in third. Paul Ross finishes fourth after starting on the pole tonight. Kevin Finn finishes in fifth. Sixth place, David Wilson. Good run for him. Johnny Thomas, what a whale of a comeback for Johnny. Good job. Finishes seventh tonight. Richard Hines finishes in eighth. Ninth place, Tate Lytle. Tate, shouldn't have pitted, buddy. You pulled a Mark Martin. Or in other words, you pulled a Tanner from Bristol a couple years ago. Tate finishes ninth, and rounding out the top 10, Chad Brown there, Justin.
Yeah, Swadley are going to come home 11th. Levi Zielinski just didn't really seem like, he could get a good handle on the race car into the wall multiple times, but he's going to come home 12th. Could have been much worse. Rusty Webb going to come home 13th. Richard Lafferty going to come home 14th. Christopher Munger 15th. Sam Close 16th. Obviously not the night that Sam wanted. Multiple issues, and it made for an extra long night for Sam. Kyle Hanshaw going to come home 17th. Matt Hackathorn 18th. Mike Stevens 19th. James Duke going to round out the top 20 there.
Finishing blackjack position tonight, Nick Miller in 21st. Brent Miller in 22nd. Todd Smith finishes 23rd. Jordan Teal in 24th. Chuck Sweeney in 25th, and Nathan Velez rounds of the 26 car field that starts tonight's event. A couple of thank yous here tonight. First off, thanks to the league organizers of the 3 Wide Racing League for putting on such a great show, and its drivers. Thank you for putting on a great show, fellas, like you do each and every week. Thanks to the sponsor, RaceKings, for sponsoring the 2018 3 Wide Racing Cup Series. And Justin, I do believe you got some track cams to thank.
Yes, sir. Of course, the cameras provided tonight by Track Cams for Gourmet. You can find more information and download the pack at www.trackcams22.com or facebook.com/trackcams. And of course, want to thank Thomas Morris from OCR TV for the beautiful graphics package you saw tonight.
And folks, thanks to the team here tonight, Justin and Carlos. Thank you guys. You guys do a great job every single week, every time we go on air. And folks, be sure to catch the next race of the 2018 RaceKings Cup Series at the Kentucky Speedway, Monday, July 2nd, 2018, for 133 laps there. It's going to be a whale of a show. I know drivers hate that track. I like that track personally. Had some past success on that racetrack. On the iRacing Sim, so be sure to catch Kentucky next week, and it's the old pavement, not the repavement. iRacing does not have the repavement whatsoever. But I'm Tanner Sharp, this is Justin Kolb and Carlos Acosta saying thank you, and we will see you in Kentucky next week.